press conference of the match between...
Sometimes people have sex in different ways.
69.
And one way is a type of sex called oral sex.
It's really good.
I don't particularly enjoy it.
Set the right tone and set the standards.
No, it's not one of my favorites.
The knowledge and also experience from different people. And
Only if you're doing it right.
I am very good.
Every man thinks he knows which positions women love, but most are completely wrong.
All right, welcome to the Straight Red Card. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're going to have another busy night here, more than likely. I don't see how this is going to go real fast, especially with all the bank stuff.
No, we're going to be doing a lot of rehashing of the same bank stuff we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks now. So,
but it's like, come on. We've been telling you what's going to happen now for 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, whatever it's been.
Well, I mean, you take into consideration his Instagram post that he fluttered out there. Everybody talking again. Everybody started talking. Well, maybe. I'm like, I got my hopes. My hopes is low to the ground as possible at this point.
Yeah, what are the lies? I want to know those too. Yeah, and then we got cold breath to talk about. Like, let's not get too heavy on that yet, because obviously that's not been working out recently for us. And then, special news. Keith Perry, I just discovered, retired. Keith Perry, a former Ajax player, Dutch American, visited by both Berhalter and Ernie at one point, where they asked him for his phone number. He was a dual nat at the time, so they could talk to him and keep in touch. And he said, "Nah, it's okay." I'm not giving you my phone number.
You gotta give him kind of props in that front, because I mean he kind of just stuck to his guns as far as either focusing on club or playing for Netherlands. I think those are pretty much his only options.
Yeah, crazy. And many times he played as the captain for the Dutch youth teams, and he was a big prospect. But I mean, when you're injured 60% of your career and now you're 25, 26, probably, he just like, I'm sick of constantly being in rehab. I'm just sick of it. I don't want to play this game anymore. He started his own player agency, so he's going to be an agent apparently for players. Good for Keith Perry. Good for him. Is it me, or did both Tim Howard and Landon Donovan in the video released today not able to remember Mick Diskerud's name? Apparently, they could not remember Mick Diskerud.
It's weird because they played with him.
They like, and that one Scandinavian kid they kept calling up. Yeah, Mick Diskerud. What the hell? You can't remember the dude's name. His name is Mix. Now, I'm not
Johansson, right? No.
Right. Well, yeah, if it were him, I don't think it was. No, he's Iceland, right? He's from Iceland. He's not Scandinavian. I'm not one to, I'm not one to say how my memory power is amazing or anything, but I mean, most of the girls I've slept with in my life, I can remember at least their names. And not to say that they slept with Mix, but they played with him, not in that kind of way. They played soccer with him, and you would think you would be able to. I remember almost every player I played with in high school. I remember all the first names.
Donovan knew his name. He was just extremely jealous of Mix's hair.
Well, who wasn't?
That's fair.
He was an Adonis, right?
It's one balding gentleman to another. Yes, of course.
Yes. Well, what do you mean balding?
I'm talking about Donovan.
Oh, okay. I've just got receding hairline. But other than that, it's not been going any further back for the last 6 years. So it's holding its ground, which thank God. If it kept going, it looked pretty dire. They played with his balls, said Jack Pineda. Yes, they did. When he kicked them, the balls, they did play with them. Yeah, but they can't remember him. I couldn't remember. I thought that was hilarious. Oh, and Donovan's solution to this whole dual nat thing is just play with the country you're born in. That wasn't, I mean, was just throwing it out there. But that means he would have only been able to play for Canada. Seems like a weird solution coming from him.
A little strange, yeah.
And by the way, it's not that simple. My brother was born in Germany. So he can only, and he's lived the majority of his life in the United States. He couldn't have played for the U.S. Seems weird. Seems very.
I mean, that's just the giant middle finger to any servicemen abroad.
It seems that way. Maybe you make an exception. I don't know. It's fine the way it is.
If your dad or mom are in the military,
you're screwed. I just think it's fine the way it is, as long as FIFA quit changing the flip-flopping rules.
Yeah.
Stick to something. Yeah, and don't they make a lot of exceptions now too, by the way. Yeah, you fall outside the rules, but we're going to make an exception here because we feel like you've been predatorily capped. Or I realize now you're 22, but that's okay. We're going to let you switch anyhow.
What about 29-year-old Ledesma? He's not 29.
Yeah, but he can still make a one-time switch, though.
He did.
He's never played for the big boy team in an official tournament. Right?
Yeah. I just thought the one-time switch had to be done before a certain age.
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
No,
this
not anymore.
This is my problem.
Not anymore.
Yeah. I learned the rule. A couple years back, and who knows? All of a sudden they changed. I'll learn this rule, and then all of a sudden they're going to change it in 2 years.
Yeah, he was never officially cap-tied. I don't think he ever played a Gold Cup for us, and nothing official, as far as I understand. I can remember. I might be wrong. Then the rules are a lot more flexible than I thought. All right, let's kick this baby off. What you got for starters?
Small bit of fluff. We got a lot of soccer to talk about, so let's just check in on some news in Ohio. So apparently, there were some Bigfoot sightings in Ohio.
Okay.
Colin sent this our way, and he wanted to know if this is AI or not.
Okay.
So I kind of skipped to some of the AI clips here, or alleged AI clips.
Okay. It's not blurry already, so I'm doubting it.
Barnowski got an unexpected visitor to his office today.
What's Bigfoot doing?
He's giving a back rub, I think.
I mean, the guy's legs go straight down. He's bent over this thing. I'm not sure what's happening here, Bigfoot.
Yeah. No, I'm just going to go with the back rub.
Okay.
Joke put on our Facebook yesterday that he did arrive at the office when I was at lunchtime and was seeing a couple patients while I wasn't here.
Of course, the picture isn't real.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, for goodness sake. Thank God. Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I think there was some other yeah, here we go. Okay. All right. That one was AI. Maybe not this one.
There was this big thing, and all of a sudden it ran.
It's led to other businesses also joining in on the fun, like this auto.
I mean, that just looks like a gorilla.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like a silverback that got out of the zoo.
It looks like a silverback meets an orangutan.
Yeah, kind of a combo there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, something that's that Ohio has been breeding together. It's just wrong. It's against nature.
It is against nature, but yeah, AI is getting a little out of control. I guess they're having fun with it, though.
Yeah. All right. We're in agreement. This is probably AI, right?
Yeah, that's AI.
Okay, good.
It's not blurry,
Well,
Brett. In order for it to be Bigfoot, it has to be blurry.
I'm just saying that's in Ohio, man. It's just right across the border. He could have been in India at any point.
Yep, this whole idea that Bigfoot exists, people, just please hang that up. I know I don't want to crush your dreams, but at this point, if there was one still alive, with everybody in their mother having a phone with a camera on it,
somebody would catch something.
There is no way this thing would be still out there, not leaving fur behind or pooping somewhere. And there's only so deep in the forest in Washington State or whatever you can go. Okay, at some point, somebody's going to see you.
I would just assume there's more Appalachian Mountains, more so than the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, it's big out there too. Remember, isn't that where Oregon was, where the the original footage of Bigfoot. That dude dressed as a Bigfoot. Or the
again, I thought that was more like the Kentucky, Tennessee area.
Pretty sure that was West Coast.
That's fair. It's possible. It's possible.
So anyhow,
at some point though, even after Bigfoot eats all the people in the forest, so that way they can't tell stories about it. At some point, he's going to digest one of those phones and leave it for somebody to find.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Jack says, I heard there were many sightings of Bigfoot while you were living in Bloomington, Indiana, Derek. Maybe you are Bigfoot. I am certainly, while a large mammal, not large enough of a mammal to be Bigfoot or mistaken for Bigfoot. So while that would be cool, I'd take it if people thought, oh, look at Bigfoot. Yeah, I'm just not big enough in general. I mean, I would assume Bigfoot's around what, 6'8", 6'7"?
Easily somewhere in that range.
Yeah. I'm not anywhere near that. Brett's closer than that I am.
Yeah,
but even
and
he's
much hairier too.
You're hairier than me? I doubt that.
I almost said we'll see. Like you and I are going to get together and start taking our shirts off. Look at us. Oh, Derek, you when you are hairier than me.
Don't give anybody any ideas, Brett. That's not happening. All right. What else we got?
Hold on, just responding to Craig Walters real quick.
Okay. What was Craig up to?
So about Noahkai Banks, he saw the my post about the where was the lie, and we're going to go over that later on.
Yes, we got to go over the lie.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, he responded. Yeah. Where is he at now? Hold on. He said, except we don't know for certain if he is torn, not unless someone here has an inside scoop. And I basically just copied and pasted his own words where he says, I'm very torn.
The amount of people coming out on Twitter that apparently have not watched or read the interview by the German media of Noahkai Banks. And then today, or 3 days ago, I just saw it today, ESPN FC released Jeff Carlisle's interview. Why they held it until 3 days ago, I don't know. In February with Noahkai Banks, it's really weird.
I almost feel like Jeff being a big U.S. talking head there, as far as having all the inside scoops and stuff. That my guess is that Poch was really actively trying to recruit him, and he didn't want this article or this interview coming out stating
in February
we're going to listen to later. So basically, I'm guessing U.S. Soccer and Poch didn't want all this extra noise going about.
Yeah,
but it didn't help him in the case that basically in that post-game interview at the end of February, he basically said the exact same thing he says in this interview.
I thought it was early March.
I thought it was end of February. Oh, it doesn't matter. Late February, early March.
It's pretty much early March. I believe it was March 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know we started covering it early, so yeah. It could have been.
So, yeah, and everything, or pretty much close to everything, he said about not being sure and being totally non-committal, I should say, in the interview with German media in March. He said in February, he said he was non-committal to Jeff Carlisle at ESPN FC. Why they released this interview 2 days ago or 3, whatever it was, instead of back in February when they did it, I think that there's some conjecture that yes, it could be they're like, well, let's not kill his chances of making March. Let's just hold off and let Poch get a hold of him before we publish this video.
And I don't know if it's just that you and I are more jaded than most, although I'm less jaded than you are in general.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's just that we're more jaded than most of the fan base, or in the sense that we can easily discern and read between the lines.
Yes.
And we can go back and look, well, here's the timeline. That's all making sense now.
Yeah. Listen, and listen, it's not just because I'm an English major, right? It's also, and I'm really, really into interpretive literature, and I'm really good at poetry, and there's probably not a poem on the planet you can publish that has a meaning that I can't tell you what it is. But you've got to be able to read between the lines. That's what life is about. That's where you find the meaning. I feel like nobody read between the lines here. because nobody else said what we said. No one except Herc was close. That was it. Herc was close.
Lawless agreed with us eventually.
No, he did. And Lawless texted me a couple days ago, and maybe it was longer than that, right? I think I sent it to you. I was like,
man. Yeah.
He said, you called it. You called it. And I said, amen. So there you go. All right.
Do you think at some point, though, like more of the talking heads within the Federation, like Lawless and them, would eventually be able to get like an advanced like heads up on that interview that we're going to watch later on? As far as just some information, like, yeah, he said this.
You know who would have? Herc. Herc would have. He works at ESPN FC. I would say the rest of the guys on ESPN FC, but none of them give two flying fucks about U.S. soccer. They really don't. So, and I have been watching ESPN FC because I have not, since they dropped Formula One and it's on Apple, I have not retuned back in, honestly. I found another way to watch German soccer illegally, and that's what I'm going to do.
Legally.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to tune back into ESPN Plus because what's the point? Those were the two things I had it for soccer and F1. And now all they've got is the Bundesliga. Yes, they got the Eredivisie, but I can figure out a way to watch that too.
La Liga.
So, I don't watch La Liga. I mean, Johnny Cardoso, I watched on occasion. Outside of that, everybody knows I don't watch La Liga. I just don't. I'm rooting for Matarazzo, so I do watch and keep my eyes on the results. And I'm looking at those. I don't watch the Real Sociedad games. And I know everybody thinks the best soccer is played in Spain, but I don't really have any investment in any team in Spain. All I have is an investment in Johnny Cardoso and right now Matarazzo. And that's it.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot for me to tune into. And I would maybe get ESPN Plus if King Gio Reyna ever decided to be played again. Ever. Then maybe I might go, you know what? It's worth it because I'm going to wake up every weekend and watch Gio play. But that's not happened. So that.
We're jumping conversations here, so I'll skip ahead to this topic since you brought Gio up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let you handle this quote.
Pablo Aymar. There's no great frustration than hearing someone say, there are no creative players, especially after repeating 800 mechanical drills all the same. Where the hell is creativity supposed to come from if everything becomes an automatic loop? If we all tell a 15-year-old kid who wants to try a dribble not to do it because he lost the ball 2 or 3 times, what do we expect to happen? At that age, he's going to lose it 20 times. And that's okay, because it's in those 20 falls when courage is born, where the vision sharpens, and that spark ignites, something that can't be replicated. Thank you, I guess.
So I bring this up, and I've got a video to follow this up with as well, because we talked about Gio beforehand, and you're like, oh, let's remember to talk about this. I'm like, I got a topic for it. Gio is we all know what the qualities of Gio bring, especially as U.S. fans. We've seen it with the U.S. men's national team. Now, of course, over the course of the last 5 years, we really haven't seen it at the club level for various reasons. We've heard not Tuchel, who's the other German guy that starts with the T that he was coached by.
Oh,
Terzic came out and said, I don't rate his defensive abilities. All the other coaches didn't have anything negative to say about him, but for whatever reason, just didn't really play him all that much. Now, we talk about it all the time where people are like criticizing how slow he is. But we're like, well, it's not really that slow. I mean, he's
really
slow.
not that slow.
But he covers a lot of ground, and he looks, the word you always use is languid.
He's languid.
And you know what the funny thing is? I got to tell you, there are other people, other pundits that have started using that word. And I don't know if that word is just become popular again, or if they've heard us say it before. I'm not saying they do listen to the show.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. But
that word has popped up. I've never heard that word up until you mentioned it. But
yeah, I know.
I digress. I wonder if with the new age soccer the way it is, if people are looking at the quote unquote effort that he's putting into and just simply saying, I got to have somebody in there that's going to work harder than that.
I'd rather have Paxton Aronson than a Gio Reyna, which is what a lot of teams will rather have
but it's sad because the time he's played with Gladbach, more often than not, he completed almost all of his passes. He moved the ball around nicely. He even opened up a couple of opportunities and did some nice work. I'm not saying he blew us out of the water by any means yet, but then again, neither has Gladbach's entire team this season.
Right. They're not a high-scoring team. I guess the point being is, and maybe we've seen this in this game a bit too, because I still think he's been playing rather conservatively for 2 seasons. With Dortmund, the time he got to play there, and then now. And I feel like he's really feels constraint on what he's allowed to do and try. I think we're seeing that. That's what this quote reminds me of. Like, is he being told to tamp down? We don't want you to take those risks. And we don't want you dribbling by 2 or 3 guys. We don't want you to do that. Just keep possession and let's play safe and keep the ball, because we are not the best team in the Bundesliga. So we can't afford to take chances. We got to play conservatively, get our goals here and there, and get those 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 wins. If that's the case, then you probably spent money on the wrong guy, because this guy's a creative force and he's just not getting a chance to do that. And here he's been back for 2.5 weeks, hasn't played a fucking minute.
Do you think they paid $2 million for him, and plus there's going to be some add-ons for X, Y, and
Pretty
Z.
cheap, yeah.
But do you think that there's to some degree of him not getting played or played as much to avoid any extra, I guess, fees?
I don't
think
so.
If he gets 1,000 minutes and gets 3 assists,
well, he's nowhere near that.
I know that's right. That's kind of my point, right?
He's nowhere. He's not getting there.
This is the thing, though, because every time he's come on to the pitch, Gladbach's team hasn't decreased in quality. In fact, they're not saying that he's the sole reason for this by any means, but they look better when he does enter the pitch. Now, even though they're relatively close to each other, Dortmund and Gladbach do not play similar styles. So you still see it out there where he'll receive the ball, quickly play it off, and move over to this spot over here, expecting to receive it again, but never gets it back because they lob it up top or whatever. So there's still that disconnect as far as stylistic is concerned.
Yeah,
but it boggles my mind. It boggles my mind how Gladbach is struggling as they are, and won't take a chance and opportunity on a guy who's a creative force.
And then I know they don't play the same position. I get it. Scally starts almost every game. Scally is playing. I know it's not the same position, but when I think of the talent difference between those 2 guys and the fact that Reyna gets no time whatsoever, I mean, I'm to the point where a lot of people are. I'm just aggravated by it. It's almost like I don't want to deal with it. It's like I don't bother tuning into Gladbach matches anymore because I already know who Scally is. I'm not going to learn anything from that.
We know what Scally brings to the table, and you can just look at his stats, look at his score. Now, of course, it's FotMob, it's SofaScore, whatever. Don't go off the scores, but if you see him with like a 7.4, you're like, okay, well, Scally had a good game. I know what Scally does and what he brings to the equation.
I know he got an assist this weekend. Good. He played 90. Yeah. I also know Reyna sat on his ass for 90 minutes. So after a while, I understand everybody who's frustrated by this because I'm at the point too. I am. I'm at the point where I'm just like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want to think about it. He'll probably make the roster, but we'll get into that later. Will he or won't he, based on the fact that he's just not playing at all. At all. So that gives Poch every right to say, I know you're super talented, but you got to play a little.
Yeah.
I'm not calling you up.
No, so. I mean, yeah, we get it. And we've talked about the Poch quote where he talks about, obviously, he's familiar with the fact that he's not really playing at his club level, but he's obviously seen what he can bring when he plays for the national team. And we're going to get into more in depth moving forward, and we'll talk about this tomorrow, especially when the roster comes out. But I fully suspect he'll be part of the March roster. And he'll be given an opportunity to shine again. And if he does, he'll be there in the World Cup, regardless of playing time at Gladbach. I don't give a damn about that at this point.
And I don't think it's because Germans don't like him. I know somebody put that as a joke, but I think that from everything we've heard, he is a likable guy. He's a team guy. I haven't heard anything otherwise. And, regardless how he treats the homeless, apparently.
Well, I mean,
that was the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard. But
Well, you have the current coach at Gladbach. You had Nuno, all of which talked about how he puts in the effort at practice.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good guy, but I don't know why it's not translating to minutes. Some minutes, any minutes, 20 minutes. Let's give him 20 minutes in the game.
Give him 5.
Maybe if you're up 3-0, at the 80th minute, and maybe you don't necessarily want to throw him in at that point since he just came back from injury. But then again, why not give him 10 minutes?
Well, there are close games, too, where they might need a goal, and he's still not coming in. So there you go. All right. Well, enough of that shit. Why you got Mr. 424 on our 434?
343.
343. Yes, I'm sorry.
PT sent me this and asked my opinion of it. And this kind of goes with the whole creativity quote we just talked about. So, wait through this real quick.
The personal training culture that exists in the United States and the suburban demographic that we're always pointing to as being the mainstream demographic in the pay-to-play ecosystem. When you see personal trainers or these videos online and trying to teach you how to receive a ball or strike a ball, and they're showing you the mechanics of it all. You have your plant foot right here, right, at this angle to the ball, and then do this sort of stroke, and whip your body around like this. You know what I'm talking about? Or, hey, lock you.
No, I mean, he's right already. He's right already. That's ridiculous. That's something you learn at a young age. I started playing it at the age of 4.5, 5. Yeah, I figured that out on my own. I didn't need anybody to teach me how to strike a ball. That's just absurd.
Well, we'll get into this a little bit here when we go dive a little further to this. But yeah, no, you definitely learn by just playing, correct?
Yes.
I mean, he's going to bring up a couple of South American countries when talking about this. And it makes sense. You have an entire culture based around this sport. Kids get home from school or they don't go to school. They maybe just go out and play soccer all day long. Of course, they're going to learn how to receive the ball because it's going to, they have to get that much better over the next person and so forth. You have all these people playing the game. You learn how to kick the ball, how to pass the ball, all that by just doing the game. I will say, though, that there is something to be had as far as fine-tuning an ability.
Specializing in like free kicks and outside the box, that's a special skill you do need to learn.
Well, I'm just saying, a kid constantly shooting on goal, constantly skyrocketing it. Maybe pulling aside and saying, hey, make sure you get your knee over the ball and whip it through with this part of your foot.
Quit leaning back, you little shit.
So, I mean, there are aspects of fine-tuning. But, yeah, kids will naturally learn how to do all this shit on their own. Mm-hmm. And then the coaches at that point, assuming that these kids have ample time to practice, because I did bring this up when responding to this, is that I live in a pretty decent sized neighborhood, and I know it's relatively rural Indiana for the most part. But mind you, this is where all the money's at, where all the soccer programs
suburban, rural.
Yeah, and so there are multiple neighborhoods around. But I will say this much: within my neighborhood, there may be 4 kids relatively close to my son's age. I'm using relatively since like 8 to 14, roughly.
Sure.
That play the sport. And the idea of going down to the cul-de-sac and doing a pickup game or something like that with a bunch of kids is not a thing that he can experience. So this concept of just learning how to do it, it's not quite the same as, say, the South American countries that we experience, where they have these hotbeds that are in major metropolises. And you may have that in LA, you may have it in New York, Miami, etc. Yeah. But for the vast majority of the United States, it's not an option.
Right. Listen, I do think, like, if you're learning to take free kicks outside the box and you want to learn how to bend it over the wall or get it over the wall and come back down and then bend it into a corner, that's just practice. You got to do that. And yes, there is specific technique for that. Like where you actually strike the ball is a little different. Corner kicks somewhat similar, but not that as detailed. You should know, well, I want to loof this one, so I'm going to get under it a little more, or I'm going to drive this like a rocket at the box, then that's you're going to hit the ball in a different place. You usually can figure that out. But yes, okay, free kicks. Outside of that, most of that shit you should learn just by playing the game. I just don't understand why. So anyhow, we interrupted him, but yeah, he's right.
Yeah. I don't. Like I said, I don't disagree with what he's saying in this video. The only thing I'll say is that I said I agree to a degree. I agree to a degree in the sense that at some point, fine tuning the ability is something that you may have to sit down and say, hey, when you go into that ball, make sure you have your plant foot relatively close to this over here and get your knee over that ball and whip it.
Right. And there might be some unusual things you don't need to necessarily teach the technique of, or you might a little bit, but you might have to re-emphasize, like outside of the foot stuff. A lot of kids, you see them, everything's to the inside the foot, left and right. No, you could use the outside of your foot too to make passes. Mm-hmm. That's not something that comes to a lot of kids' minds, that's another option, because they're been taught early on, hey, you pass it with the inside of your foot, right? But yeah, so there's some things you might need to focus on in practice and say everybody's got to kick so many balls with the outside of their foot and master it. Yeah, but I don't know about, a kid who's struggling with it, you might say, well, here's where you're screwing it up, and here's what the technique you're.
Well, and to your point, as far as using the outside of your foot, using various aspects of your foot, we discourage, especially from a young age, the concept of toe bashing the ball. So you have no idea where the fuck it's going to go. But there are times where using
toe poke it. Yep.
Toe poke it is a thing. Reaching for that ball as it's coming whipped across the box just to get to it. Yeah, absolutely. Get your foot on it. Any part.
And sometimes you don't have enough time to square up your foot. You just poke it.
Yeah.
You just get it to go at the goal.
Just don't make it your go-to kick.
No, it's not your. You will look like an idiot toe poking a long pass to somebody because it will probably not go where you're aiming it. But there is a time and place for a toe poke. But yeah, I agree with them. So is there more here?
I basically covered it because he does bring up the South American countries and talks about how they just they go out there and play. And they don't necessarily get taught that way where you're teaching them the fine tuning of aspects. They do it and they learn it. But the thing about those countries too, especially when you look at whatever, it's Brazil, the Argentinas, the Uruguays, etc. The coaches don't necessarily have to sit there and babysit and hey, this is what you have to do. Because hey, if these 10 players can't do it, there's going to be 10 players over here that can do it.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to start focusing on these 10 over here. Those 10 are gone.
No,
where we can't necessarily do that here.
I remember playing pickup games and being in stride, running at a ball, realizing that my right foot would get to the ball before my left in stride if I kept running at full speed. And that if I wanted to lead the player in the middle with the ball who was wide open and making a run towards goal, I had to hit it first time with my right foot. And that meant I had to hit it with the outside of my right foot. And so I did it. And it worked. And then I knew, oh, well, that's in my box too. I got that too. I can do that. But it's not even something I thought about. It's just like that was the only option at the time. And so I did it.
Yeah.
That's going back to 7 years old, right? Or something like that. 7, 8, 9 years old, probably earlier even. Anyhow, you learn a lot just kicking the ball around, playing group games with kids. But as you said, that's not something like when I was a kid, on the Army bases, especially with so many and my dad being armor, most of us were almost all of the armor guys were overseas in Germany. Almost all the kids that lived in Germany and all of them had played soccer, which is why a school with 300 kids went to the fucking state finals at the Kentucky, high school state championship. I mean, that's why we went, because we were all raised in Germany during the Cold War. We'd all lived in Erlangen and Berlin and all these Nuremberg, all these different bases, Bamberg, you name it. And so most of us spoke enough German to intimidate the other team by speaking German before the game. It was the whole thing we would do. Yeah, We're going to intimidate them. Nobody speak English. Everybody speak German before the game.
You'd walk up to the team and go, Guten Tag. Like, what is this?
So we would, if we wanted a ball in the air, you'd say, Luft, 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 And so, we did that on purpose just to because the other guys would look around and go, these guys are all German. This is not fair. This is not fair. Yeah.
They looked at you and they go, we don't speak Spanish and English, please.
So they knew, but they didn't know we were playing them too, because at halftime we forgot the gag and we were all speaking English again. But we all, back then, there were so many pickup games on base. And the kids that played on the high school team would go to the parade grounds where there were a couple soccer fields set up, and we would play against. So on the Army Armor Training Center in Fort Knox, there was a whole bunch of foreigners who were there to also train with the United States Army and take it back to their countries. So we'd be playing against French guys, Pakistanis, Italian dudes. They were all, in their 20s, and we were playing against them and getting better. These guys were really good. They would beat our asses sometimes in these pickup games. 11v11 too, pickup games, not small ones. We had to have guys, 3 or 4 guys had to sit on the sideline. But we would go out there in the middle of summer, it would be hot as hell. And we'd play all these foreign guys who'd show up they probably saw us out the window from their barracks and were like, let's go play those little kids. And that helped us. That helped us become a state finalist in 1985, 86. Yeah, 86.
You're saying kids playing against grown men will improve you better than playing other kids?
Yeah, tell that to MLS.
I'm glad you picked up on that, right?
Yeah. All right, sorry, went on a bit there.
Barcelona 2170 for $5 says, technique is important. However, like in golf, players accomplish the same shots with different swing. Same thing in soccer. Let players be unique.
I mean, it's with every sport. Darts. Okay, look at some of the crazy dart throws there are out there. There's no one way to throw a dart. You can still be a world champion. Like Phil Taylor does not throw darts any way like Luke Littler. But is Luke Littler going to be the greatest of all time? It's very possible. But they don't throw darts any way alike. Not at all. So there's that. It is true. You got to match your technique is something that grows creatively out of you. It's natural. There are some adjustments you can make, but there's no one way to play soccer. There's no one way. Sorry, there isn't.
Spider's Line says, I throw darts underhanded.
Now that would be different.
That'd be tough, man.
That would be really different.
Good accuracy underarm throws? Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. Be hitting a lot of triple 19s maybe on the bottom of the board.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, given the turmoil that's happening in over the Mideast right now, there is a concern as far as the Iraqi team being able to
Iranian team.
Nope, Iraqi.
Oh, Iraqi. Okay.
Perform in their playoff match against Bolivia or whoever else they're playing, because some of their players and some of their coaching staff were stuck in certain countries without being able to get out due to fly restrictions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Good news is Iraq will be present in the playoff match in Monterrey.
Okay, good. They figure out a way out. This is good.
Yep.
They were preventing them from leaving the Middle East after recent events. So more than likely, they probably found a way out through the north into Turkey, would be my guess, and got out of there if they're domestic. So
yeah, well, there's some players that were in Saudi Arabia. There's some players in Iraq, stuff like that. So it's just trying to coordinate, get everybody in and out of wherever they be,
Good news.
Yeah, they got to do it, and they get to go do the playoff match. So that's good.
Yeah.
But speaking of teams who are quickly finding their way into the World Cup, Italy could replace Iran at the World Cup. Congratulations. Italy made the World Cup. No, not yet.
Yeah, it's not official yet.
They still have a playoff round themselves.
I have to say, I'm really nothing political about my comment here, but very disappointed in Trump's comments about Iran. I thought they were.
Did we talk about this already?
No, we haven't.
Okay, then you and I just talked about this.
Yes, I found his comments, his post to be
insanely poorly written, in my opinion.
It was so bad. It was so poor. And so, I mean, listen, now you're in my sport, man. And I think you need to be clearer than that. That was not clear.
It wasn't clear at all, and it did look like a threat. Now, maybe not necessarily to him, but I'm like, oh. But in what world does he benefit by saying, yeah, the U.S. not safe, don't come here. Not for you guys.
Yeah, you can't even intimate that. And you certainly can't post that. That's a horrible thing to do. And so, my man, get back to what you're doing. Don't mess up the World Cup.
Again, it's one of those things you have to take into context. Literally, the day or two prior to that, he was talking to Australia and saying, "Hey, if you don't offer them the ladies' team asylum, we will."
Yeah, he said that. So you think, he's probably willing to do the same for the Iranian men players. So Collins says he's talking about Iran assassinating their own players. Maybe he was. It's impossible to know that based on that post.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm just taking it at context.
Again,
I couldn't imagine why he would ever flat out state that the United States was not safe.
Yeah, I listen. That's an incredibly crazy thing to say. I'm hoping that's not what he meant to say. But the problem is that it's so unclear. All you can do is try to estimate what he was trying to say. And when you get into estimating, then you get people saying they think they definitely know what he was saying. No, you don't. You're guessing, just like everybody else. I'm not sure either. All right. And if you're going to make a comment about the World Cup, just make it really crisp and clear what you're trying to say. That's all. That's all I'm asking. And that was not crisp and clear. It was the opposite of crisp and clear. So.
And see now, and Calvin brings up a point that I would have always saw when I saw Italy taking the place of Iran. If Iran were to withdraw and not participate in the World Cup, you would imagine that the team that would be vying for a playoff spot from that region would be the next team in.
You would think.
And not Italy, but
you would think. Also, somebody mentioned sleeper cells. He mentioned that in another comment he made. There's no comment about sleeper cells in that comment he made about Iran's soccer team.
All he said was they're more than welcome to come to the World Cup, but for their own safety, I would advise against it or something like that.
So you're telling me we can't protect the Iranian soccer team from terrorism from within our own country? That's ridiculous. Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
That's
all dumb and all.
If that were the case, then the U.S. should be careful wherever they play because, same thing. We can't guarantee to protect them either. There are people that want to kill Americans regardless, and that would be, I guess for them, that would be quite the circus if that's what they want to accomplish. So, yeah, no. The problem is we don't know what he meant.
Yeah,
except for what he literally said, which to me was not good. So.
Again, yeah, we don't. I mean, we can only assume at that point. And
yes.
the problem is people have their own biases as far as assuming what they want to assume, and they'll look at it and say, "Oh, this X, Y, and Z." And I'm just looking at it from a standpoint as far as Trump's always like, "That's great, it's the best," blah blah. And he doesn't. We talked about this beforehand. He's not going to want a World Cup that flops. Why would you ever say that the team coming to the World Cup would be in danger to come here?
Yeah, so that's a horrible thing.
That's all context. Yeah. It was a really horribly written, or social, whatever you want to call it. It's not a tweet because it wasn't done on Twitter.
Right.
But Bandit wants to know what happened to the female soccer team that refused to sing their national anthem. About 6 or 7 of them accepted asylum in Australia. The remainder of the team went back to Iran.
And I can only wish them the best doing that.
Yeah.
So, and then, as you said earlier, Trump was offering asylum if Australia wasn't going to do it, they would do it in the U.S. Embassy. That wasn't necessary, so it didn't happen. But if you're willing to do that for the women's Iranian soccer team, then I would assume he'd be willing to do it for the men too. So that's why his post is even more confusing And as you said, you should not have to read a post like that and make assumptions. It should be
right. Yeah, 100%.
You should just be able to read it and go, I know exactly what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yep.
Yeah. This is Iran's response to Trump.
It is a historic and international event. And
it's German now?
I know, this is still the dog.
It would be more offensive if you try to do an Iranian voice.
Yeah, I can't do an Iranian. The World Cup is a historic and international event, and its governing body is FIFA, not any individual country. Iran's national team, with strength and a series of decisive victories achieved by the brave sons of Iran. What is this, a fucking World War II speech? All right, was among the first teams to qualify for this major tournament. Certainly no one can exclude Iran's national team from the World Cup. The only country that could be excluded is the one that merely carries the title of host, yet lacks the ability to provide security for the teams participating in this global event.
See, even they leaned into that.
They did lean into it, because if you're not going to make clear, that's the thing. Anybody can lean into whatever direction they want. Like Colin's leaning into one side, a lot of people lean into the other side. That's why this needs to be a clear and concise comment. That's absolute.
No ambiguity at all.
No ambiguity is necessary.
Clear as fucking day.
It's too important. It's a World Cup. Not that there aren't a lot of other important things that he has to do right now. But if you're going to talk about an international world event that's the most popular event in the world, it's time to stop with any ambiguity. Only post extremely clear-cut things. Period. End of story. All right. That's it.
Yeah. Speaking of important and incredible events that happened. Hold on, I find this. Here we go. Derek.
Oh, look at me.
Look at you.
Featured on the show. All right. That's cool.
State of the Union featuring Derek Ritchie.
You know, interestingly enough, I never thought.
Did you get any followers after the Boomer Ritchie up there?
Fuck no. Hell no. Nobody cared. You know, it's weird that this is what they chose to do, but this was the producer who picked this, not Lawless. Lawless had no clue that this was coming up. I can confirm that. He had no idea. And so he looked at it and he was just as stunned as I was when he came up on the show. But he didn't say anything, you know. Hey, that's my dude or anything like that, or the guy I've been on their show, which is what I hope he would have said. But I probably doesn't want people to go watch the Straight Red Card intro of that show before he came on, which has him endorsing oral sex. So, I mean, he didn't personally. It's intimated that he did.
Who wouldn't endorse it?
Anyhow, this whole MLS thing's really caught on. Me tracking the youth players in MLS and the starters. So I think it's hilarious. You know, Mossy is the one to say, and our producer so-and-so thought this was really, I forgot his name, thought this was a really important post or whatever he said, and bang, there you go. All right. So yeah, I was featured on the show. We'll see if that happens.
Okay. Maybe it's gonna be a regular. Maybe it'll be a regular MLS segment of the show.
I do have to say I put up week 4 of the numbers, and it did not get anywhere near 30,000 views. So
it's run its course.
Not even 5. It's run its course. Oh, now only 5K care about the stats in MLS.
That was like DC announcing, "Oh, we had 70,000 people in attendance whenever Miami came to town." I go, hey, "What's the attendance going to be like the next week?"
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, you can only stroke that so many times before it's going to be obvious.
Absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of stroking, 130 of you are stroking and watching this show right now. Thank you for being here. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. All right.
So I had a nice little, well, that wasn't even back and forth because I didn't reply to him because my Twitter at work was not working very well. I had a nice long reply to this guy, but I felt after it failed on me that it would just be good to have it on the show for us to talk about. So let's bring it up. So Football Legionnaire says, referring to let's see here, talking this about Noahkai Banks, whether or not he's going to choose Germany or the United States.
Okay.
It says one World Cup with the U.S. as host, who hypothetically may not reach another.
What? Another World Cup?
We'll get into more detail about that in just a second, Eric.
Okay.
Or 3 or 4 World Cups with Germany, who may even win 1 or 2. He's also eligible for Spain, too. I don't know if he's eligible for Spain.
No, he's not. All right. Okay, listen.
Initial thoughts, Terry.
My initial thought is, what an idiot. First of all, with the new qualifying being open to this many teams, the U.S. is going to qualify for every World Cup from here until the end of the world.
Well, he kind of explains it to a degree.
He says hypothetically.
Yeah.
May not. Hypothetically may not. What? Well, the whole team is in a massive jet engine failure and crash. The whole team dies. I mean, I don't know how that's possible that we don't qualify for every World Cup from here on out.
We should specify when he's talking about the one World Cup as host, maybe not necessarily reaching another one, and 3 or 4 for Germany. He's referring to Noahkai Banks' career only. So under Noahkai Banks, for the next 3 to 4 World Cups, the U.S. is only going to make 1 because we're the host. May not make the other 3, whereas Germany will, is what he's saying.
I would also like to let him know, since I am half German, that the German national team's been shit for a while now. I don't know if they've noticed. It's not the same. Like, the German national team is in no way favored going into this World Cup. They have a very small chance of winning this World Cup. It's very tiny. If it were a porn star, he'd be lugging around a 5-incher. Okay? It's not very big. This is not the German teams of your grandfather and your father. This isn't a team full of Klinsmans and Mullers and not even that Muller either that everyone's thinking of. They're like Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, Beckenbauer's. There are no kind of players like that left in Germany anymore. Okay? I'm just telling you, it's not the same team. We don't even have a center forward. And I say we in the colloquial German sort of sense. We don't even have a center forward. You telling me our best center forward is probably like Fulkrug, maybe? I don't even know who it is, honestly, at this point. This is not the same German. Like there was a time where we had a chance to win a World Cup every World Cup. Germany. That's not the case anymore. Germany is barely keeping its head above Italy as far as developing Germans right now. Okay?
Fighters Lawton says, so you're saying Banks has a good chance to start for Germany, or this Germany?
I mean, listen, you're looking at the youth. I'm sure there are going to be some young center backs who pop up in the next 3-4 years that become super players. But right now, I'm not that impressed with the German back 2-3 center. I'm not impressed with that. Not after what I'm used to for years with the German national team. So, yeah, now is the time. It's better a chance now with the German national team. I mean, that team was so fucking loaded when Jermaine Jones played for them the couple times he did before he switched to us. Jermaine Jones wasn't even good enough to play for the German national team back then. But Jermaine Jones would be a star on that team right now. He'd definitely make that team right now. I think he would. He was a star for Schalke at the time, and he struggled to make that team. Well, he would make it now, I think. It's a different age, but no, this is not your grandmother's or your father's Germany. I'm sorry. It's just not as impressive as it used to be. Sorry. I wish it were, because they're my second favorite team. But, yeah, it is what it is.
So my response was, if the U.S. pool is shallow, because he talked about how the U.S. pool is shallow. If the U.S. pool is shallow, CONCACAF is practically a puddle.
You're nice.
The best of the most of CONCACAF plays in MLS, which means outside of Mexico and the U.S., most of the pool of all the other CONCACAF teams, the best of those players are playing in MLS for the most part.
You did forget the N in 2 of those CONCACAFs.
You're right. Yeah. Well,
you got it right the third time, though.
Taking a lot of coca. Listen, then I mentioned how finishing in third is not unheard of. You talked about how we finished in third behind Mexico and Canada in the 2022 World Cup qualifying. Honduras and Costa Rica have always been contenders, albeit with an even shallower pool. Mexico and the U.S. Tend to dominate the qualifying. Canada, Panama have emerged as valid competition, but to assume that the quality of players aren't developing in the United States is a naive take. The U.S. will be fine.
Yes, especially if we go to 48 teams in the World Cup, which is the next step everyone's talking about. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to have you read his replies because he has a list of replies here.
The best teams have most of their players not in MLS. Canada, Mexico, Panama, and U.S. is ranked 4th in CONCACAF right now, which affects their seeding. Costa Rica, Honduras are out of the question. Their golden ages are over for now. But Haiti, Suriname, Curacao, Jamaica. Oh, please, dude. Jamaica. Really? There couldn't be a bigger waste of talent ever than Jamaica. I have more confidence in Haiti practically going forward. Just because the Jamaicans know how to fuck up their own team by making them unhappy and not paying them. Yeah, not paying them. Yeah, that's a mess.
Jamaica's always been like a hair away from being a contender in CONCACAF. They have the talent, they have the physicality, they can play, but they don't perform consistently.
They're a mess.
His comment where he says Canada, Mexico, Panama, the U.S. is ranked 4th in CONCACAF right now. Based off of the current Nations League result? Is that what he's talking about? Because if you're looking at like FIFA ranking, we're still are we actually ahead of Mexico in this front? We're still above Canada and Panama. Then I know FIFA rankings don't mean a whole lot of shit for the most part.
They don't, but
I mean, what seeding? What seeding is this affecting?
So even though there are French players on the Haiti team, there are now some Dutch duels in Curacao and Suriname, and there always been duels in Jamaica. It's not enough. If you're Curacao and your best Dutch players play in the 2nd and 3rd divisions, that's not going to be enough. Or the 2nd division in France, if you're Suriname, it's not enough, people. And maybe that'll change, but it's not enough. I'm sorry. Dietzen and other players that never were good enough to play for the U.S. now play on Haiti. Okay, so listen. Okay, fine. No, I do not see a time, especially if we do go to 48 teams, like is proposed. There won't ever be a time that the United States will fail to qualify for World Cup. It'll be as shoo-in as New Zealand is.
So, start at the butt again here.
But Haiti, Suriname, Curacao, Jamaica are all ascending. Oh, please, dude. This dude is smoking some stuff.
And my reply to him was going to be in the sense of course they're ascending. When you basically have no program to talk about and you go out and you pillage the lower levels of Europe for players, which I'm not judging by any means. If they're qualified for citizenship in your country, go out and get them. I don't care. That's fine. But you had no program leading up to that point. And now you have a bunch of lower division, whether they're English, if they're Jamaicans, if they're Dutch or French, they're lower division. It's going to improve your program. For yes. Not arguing that point. And you know what? The more the merrier. If those tiny island nations get stronger, a little stronger, and a little stronger, it's going to make the Nations League, it's going to make the Gold Cup a little bit more competitive. And those are where 90% of our matches come from, is from playing those tournaments. Unfortunately, we have to play CONCACAF non-fucking stop.
So, out of 48-team World Cup, how many spots would CONCACAF get, do you think? 8?
There were
9?
6.5, I think, something like that.
That's for now with 40, right? I don't know.
Maybe it is the top 2 from, because they're doing 4 groups. Maybe it is the top 2 from each 4 groups.
So I just think
David D saying 6
plus playoffs. For a 48 team World Cup.
Yeah, we covered this. We covered this in a show recently.
We're 40 now. We're going to move to 48. So we're going to add a couple more. You're telling me we can't finish in the top 8?
We're gonna go through a silly qualifying process where U.S., Mexico, Canada, and probably going to be like Panama, as of right now, are never going to see each other.
Yeah,
at all. It's never going to happen. And then all of a sudden, basically, you're going to have to contend with the Honduras, the Jamaicans, and then insert random tiny countries here that may be improving some, but there's the fact that you're sitting here, they may not qualify. Well, geez, I mean, I understand that you're saying that Curacao and Haiti and Jamaica and Suriname are improving, but to what degree?
Again, there would have to be a curse placed on the United States team. We would have to swing around and go in the opposite direction we are now and start to totally shit the bed in every sense for that to be the case.
2018 was a more competitive qualifying process, and it was the perfect storm for us not to qualify.
And there are only 32 teams allowed in.
So, let's see. And if Trinidad and Tobago could sort out their citizenship law updates, which are coming, they will be able to recruit more European and Americans.
Okay, I think we need to stop reading this dude.
Oh, but it gets better. It gets better.
Okay.
The U.S. pool is nowhere near as good as past decades.
Okay, that's why this guy gets what we used to call it dumbass of the week. But this is bad. All right. Yes, he's right. We don't have a top goalkeeper, and we have
center backs questionable. So
we have one really great center back or good center back, quality center back, and maybe a few others that you could call good center backs. But yeah, I mean, I get it, but the rest of the pool is stacked. The rest of where our positions are stacked. We're going to be fine.
Not to discredit the center backs of old per se, in the sense, because we had some center backs that came out and balled for us, but it's not like we had world class center backs ever.
We had quality center backs though.
Quality center backs. Yes.
Bocanegra is a great example. Played for Fulham. Played for Rangers. Listen, we could go.
You know,
Gooch.
we also had like Jay Demerit, who, mind you, ended up eventually working his way up into the Premier League by all means.
Watford, yes,
very dominant physical type of defender.
Even our domestic center backs were really good. Eddie Pope, Lawless at his height, Balboa. We had some really good center backs. So let's not worry about that. That should fix itself. Because our center backs are not going to ever be complete shit. They won't be great. It could be possible we're not really developing a whole lot of center backs. Then we're just lost one. Okay. So, yeah, it's possible we're going to struggle at that position and goalkeeper, which is completely ridiculous. But it's also possible that we could see the rise in some center backs coming forward. We could see a goalkeeper come out and coach and be really awesome. So we don't know. We don't know yet. None of this is static or permanent. It will change. So to think that that's all it's going to take to get us to not qualify out of a World Cup is absolutely asinine. Not only would that have to happen, that we would get worse at those positions, somebody would have to come along and sprinkle some fairy dust on us and make us all a bunch of fucking half-wits. There is no way that's happening. I'm sorry.
Again, Mexico's team predominantly outside maybe like a couple players predominantly play in Liga MX. You have Canada, who is now shipping off more and more players to Europe. Don't get me wrong, and they're definitely filling it out the roster accordingly. But the rest of their pool all plays in MLS or the Canadian League, which I don't know how many of the Canadian Premier League players are actually on the team by any means, but I'm sure it's all MLS at that point.
Yeah, none. Zero would be the number.
Costa Rica, Honduras, Jamaica, all those players are either playing locally at their country or they're playing in MLS with an occasional player playing abroad. Again, we talked about how Suriname, and we talked about Curacao, we talked about Haiti and how they've pillaged a lot of the lower divisions in Europe. And yes, they have a lot of players that are in Europe, but I mean, that's not the same thing. So we could field an MLS team in the Gold Cup and be contenders.
No, we've shown that already.
We've shown it already. So to sit there and say like, "Well, your pool is weak because you've got a lot of people in MLS." So what? So what?
Oh yeah. So what? So because you know what, the Liga MX teams are not exactly blowing anybody's dick off when they're playing MLS teams nowadays. All right. So there's that too. I don't think the difference between the leagues, I think, is so minimal at this point. And maybe there isn't one. Maybe MLS has surpassed them. I don't know about that, but I know it's not far off. I can tell you that. So I just don't want to hear all that. I think that's bullshit. Mm-hmm. That's somebody who's stuck in, 2010. This guy's stuck in 2010. I don't think he's paying attention to what's going on. And the fact that we're averaging almost 4 U.S. players per team starting in MLS, all right, 3.8 or 3.9 or whatever it was in my last chart. And we're playing all these youngsters too. These players that are U23s, they're 22, 23, 19, 17. All right. Unless you're, play for Philadelphia, then you don't get to play.
Miami.
Or Miami. Although Miami played 2 youngsters, they played 2 Americans this weekend that both started, and they were both under 23. So maybe they heard the call that they are embarrassing themselves with the 0-0 rating.
Maybe.
I don't know. That chart got posted everywhere, so I don't know. I mean, MLS moves. There were like 9 people who reposted that. So maybe they looked at it and went, oh, shit, we better play some over. Well, a bunch of their guys didn't travel, so they had to fill out although they did bring those kids up from their 2 team just to play in that game and start that game. So that's a little odd. You'd think you would have some depth on your bench. You wouldn't, even though Messi and some of the other players didn't show, to fill out them missing. But I guess not. Or they're just nervous about being the only team to have not played a single American this season as a starter, or started a single U23 American player. I don't know. Yeah. Anyhow, this guy's full of shit.
He says no emerging center back partnership that isn't under 32. Well, I mean, if Ream happens to be the next best option behind Richards at that point, then who cares if he's over 32? I mean, of course, we should be looking. Well, geez, we were sitting at the end of 2022 saying, well, Ream's not going to make it in 2026. Somebody else will step up. But I mean, Poch has played a lot with Miles Robinson. He's played a lot with McKenzie. Truss, he's just been introduced at this point. So, I mean, it's silly. It's a silly.
He says a lack of top wingers, if any, outside of Pulisic. Hey, dumbass! We don't play any. We play wing backs now. Have you been watching any of the games? We play wing backs, not wingers. Pulisic's a 10 now. All right, dude. Hey, wake up! Smell the coffee. And guess who else plays 10 on our team? Tellman, Reyna. We got other guys. Hello, wake up. Anyhow, this guy's an idiot. We don't play wingers. We play 10s, and we play wingbacks. So if you don't like Destin Robinson as our wingers, I'm sorry. I guess you haven't been watching the games, dummy. Big dummy. All right, let's move on from this. This guy's got Legionnaire's disease, is what he's got.
No, he's going to talk about the qualifying real quick. So,
new qualifying cycle will consist of a lot of rounds of groups of 4. 50% win ratio will be chaotic and playing away, which is something the U.S. has been able to largely avoid in years in Central and the Caribbean.
No, wait a second. No. We haven't avoided playing in years. Half of your games are qualifying or away.
I can't believe this was a conversation with this guy. He's such a Nimrod. Such a Nimrod. No, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
We don't have the greatest track record away from the United States. I'll grant him that much. But then again, most teams don't have a great away record in CONCACAF. Quite frankly.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Right. Yeah.
It's that simple.
All right. So Colin's saying Destin Luna just played wing. You need to shut the fuck up. I'm not going to shut the fuck up, and we can continue to have this argument between you and I about what formation we're playing. I don't really care. I'm just going to tell you that Dest and Luna playing wingback is still not that bad. If that were or winger isn't that bad. So don't tell us we don't have wingers. If Colin, you consider Luna a quality winger and Dest a quality winger, then that guy should still fuck off. No? Yes, I think the answer is yes. All right, so we agree on that. Let's find a place where we agree, right? We agree that guy's a dumbass. Okay, there we go.
I think we have a number of players who can be very successful if we played out and out wings. If we played go back to the 4-3-3 with kind of the MMA type
I'd
of
be
midfield.
fine with that.
We'd have plenty of people who are capable at that. I mean, you could throw Way, you could throw Zendejas. I mean, hell, even Haji could play out there. So I don't think the winger or wing back is a concern.
It's not a concern, even if we play a 4-3-3. You're absolutely right. This guy's a moron, hasn't watched US play soccer, obviously is not a big, complete fan of the team and been tracking all its developments and its movements and our depth. The only thing he's gotten right so far, the center back depth is not great, and the goalkeeper depth it's not great, but it's not shit fest either. It's not like these guys are a bunch of half-wits with a 78 IQ that we throw in there. All right? They're not mentally disabled. They can play. They're just not – they're not Tim Howard. They're not Casey Keller. And the game's changed. All right? Now you got to play with your feet. Okay? All right. That guy's irritating, dude. I can't believe you conversed with him.
Again, my reply to him was never got to go through, so I just figured we'll bring it up on the show and hear Derek's take on that.
Hey, good question from Jared. Do you think Tanner Tessman will play center back? Well, he just played it for Lyon. I don't see why he wouldn't be an option. We actually dropped him back into center back in a recent game for the U.S. men's national team. It wasn't very long, but it was to close out a game. So it's possible that could be considered. It's kind of out of nowhere, though, for Poch to do that on a starting basis, to start Tessman as a center back as a starter would be a little chemistry question there. Like, so, I mean, if he was going to do that on the regular, he should have tried it a little bit more than the end of a game, closing out the end of a game. With Tessman. So you would think there would have been more trying of that before you just, I mean, you could do it. These are friendlies, I suppose. You could throw Tessman in there, have him try center back.
Yeah, so Derek, I haven't got to watch any of his games at Lyon because I don't have access to Ligue 1. But Lyon fans aren't happy with Tessman and don't want him playing. What do you guys think?
Well, they're idiots.
And all I can go off of is what other people say, plus looking at the stats, looking at his ranking. Again, the score at the end of the game, take with a massive grain of salt. But there have been very few games I've looked at and been like, well, he must have been shit, you know?
No, he hasn't been shit. He's had, just like everybody does in a long season, a couple of bad games. There's no doubt about it. But then again, they're at the top of the table. And he's one of the reasons that they're there. I don't understand this. Now, if he stops playing altogether because of the bad games, some of the bad games he had recently, I guess we'll know that he's no longer in favor. And the fact that they need him at center back, and so they're playing him there now. So, I mean, I don't know.
What was the game against PSG or whatever? We saw the highlight of it, but I saw what everybody was bitching about from Lyon fans. When he got quote unquote dispossessed, that led to a goal. Yeah, but he wasn't dispossessed. He was fouled. He was tackled, brought down.
Yeah, that was some time back though.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's an example though. Is that they scapegoated him in that game for that play.
Let's just call it what it is. It's McKennyism. They're doing to him what they do to McKenny and Juve. Always.
Julian Vivas literally just said, "Are Lyon fans Juve fans?"
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing. You always blame the American. That's the first thing you do as a fan. Okay? That's just called the standard arrogance. Not every fan, by the way. There are lots of fucking Lyon fans that do like Tessman and do value him. So let's not pretend they don't. But the loudest voices are the ones with garbage in their brains, who are low IQ people who simply do not like Americans to start with, and B, they got to blame it on somebody. Blame them for what? Leon, based on their financial situation, should never be even this close to the top of the table. They were in a shit world of hurt before this season started, and they are near the top of the table. Are they going to win it? No, of course not. They're not going to win the French league. But who thought at the beginning of the season, after what they just went through last season, and had to squirrel around, that they would be this good this season? I think most of us thought they'd be fighting near the bottom, not the top. So,
Jared Levin says, "Damn you Americans, wee."
Yeah.
BMR wants to know, are we going to experiment with a guy that has a couple of games at CV in his career right before the World Cup?
I wouldn't. That's what I was saying, BMR. I wouldn't do it now. Now it's a little too late. If you were going to experiment with Tessman as a CB, you should have done it last year. This year is a little late to throw him in there with all the chemistry things that need to go right with a center back pairing.
But I mean, even to that point, though, I mean, as deep as our center midfield is, I don't necessarily even want to take him out of contention in that position. I mean, are we going to rely on like Cardoso, who hasn't really performed at all for the U.S. men's national team?
Yeah, I don't see how he's
not. And Berhalter in the mix.
And Cardoso hasn't really proved himself as a U.S. men's national team player. So Adams, Tessman, that's the pairing a lot of people expect to start. So together in front of that back three. With obviously Tessman having a little bit more leeway to move forward. And then a lot of people are saying it's going to be the 10 spots are going to be filled by Pulisic and McKennie. We'll see.
Yeah. Julian Vivas wants to see Pukstas.
Yeah, it's not really been fair ride for him, honestly. Not necessarily in the U.S. men's national team, but in the fact that his own club has been willing to send him to places he has clearly said he does not want to go. He does not want to come to MLS. And it's really shocking to me there haven't been more offers for one of the best players in his league. It's shocking to me.
Yeah.
That
I suspect it'll change this summer.
I would too. He's playing so good this season. It's not one of those seasons where they're punishing him and throwing him on the bench again. Mm-hmm. So I think we will see him. There actually seems to me they're trying to let him play so much that, and he's been their best player this season. So I would imagine he's gone soon.
Probably one of their bigger tickets to sell on right now.
Mm-hmm. So. He'll be around for the next World Cup, folks. Don't worry. He will. He's going to find a place somewhere.
Little baby. Yeah.
He'll find some place. He's still really young, guys. He'll find a spot. He'll find a team. He'll settle in. He'll be a good player, a quality player somewhere. I hope it's somewhere like Italy or Germany where they play younger players. And because God help me if he goes to the EPL.
I'll say Italy tends to be where players from that league tend to go to and adapt easily.
Yeah, a lot of players that are Croatian and Czech Republic and players from the Eastern Bloc end up in Italy. A lot of them. So Macedonian players, blah, 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 over history at least. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Here.
Do not panic. Do not panic. Cap them now. Cap them now. All right. Who is it? It is Cold Breath. Well, yeah. This is a guy who could be either the next young German American that comes and plays for us next World Cup, maybe, or he'll follow the track of Nathaniel Brown and quite possibly Noahkai Banks.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't. His English is really good. I watched his interview after the game, and it's obviously he has been in the country, learned the language. There's very little accent there. There is some, not a ton. Not that matters. I really don't care about that. But it's obviously, he has strong American influence in his family. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I wouldn't get overly excited about this yet, guys. There's a long trek to go. He's not getting called up in March. He is not coming to the World Cup. He is a really, really good player. And he just came out of nowhere, dude.
Yeah, and he's got a Tillman to drop honey in his ear.
He does. I'm not sure Tillman's really good. I'm not sure that Tillman's a really good honeydew dropper. But, if anybody can do it, he can. He's right there with him. Of course, and we could use a right wing back, another extra one, in case Des has issues going forward, which looks like he could because he's injured about half the time, right? So, yeah, it's a guy to watch, but nobody should listen. Well, there was a time, and we had it worked with Balogun, but you have to understand, Balogun was he was extremely disappointed with the English FA and the coaches there. And until that happens, Balogun was probably hoping to play for England. So you can bug him and put a bug in his ear and post sweet nothings on his page and all that if he has one yet.
No dick pics, guys. Come on, no dick pics.
No dick pics, please. All right. So yeah, I'd say keep an eye on him, but let's not get too excited too early. No whipping out the lube way too early for that and getting all excited and hard about it. You just can't do it. I mean, after what's happened, especially, we can't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Derek is a German spy. I'm not. Trust me. My favorite American player of all time is Jermaine Jones. So no, I want him to come over, not on my face.
Come over
to the team.
Come over and play for the US. Yeah.
I don't want them to come on my face. Yeah. All right.
Do not come.
Do not come. Don't come on me. Don't come anywhere on me. All right. If you're doing that, Edgar, man, hopefully we can get I'm kidding, Edgar. I'm just being an English teacher. Hopefully we can get him into our team because we're in shambles when it comes to keepers. So we got Leonard Prescott. He's only 16. Again, I would not whip out the loop on this. It's way too early. He is another dual nat. We could use all the goalkeepers we could get. I don't think begging is a good thing. Convincing is a little too strong because I don't even think what Greg Berhalter did was convincing. Greg Berhalter did not go over and say, let me sell you on my team. He did not do that. If you listen to how Greg describes what he did, he simply goes over and said, listen, we're really impressed by you and your play. And you know what? I hope at some point you'll find time if we call you to come on and practice and play with our team and some friendlies or whatever games we call you up for. We're really interested in your future. We hope it's with us. If it's not, we're totally cool with that too.
Well, yeah. He was also very much a proponent saying that if there was a dual net that's been in our system that's getting a call for, say, like Mexico or whatever, that he's like, yeah, hey, go over there, see what you think there too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Options open. That we're obviously interested in you. Here's what we're doing. Come into camp. You enjoy the camp. Try it out over there. See what fits best.
Let me ask you this, Brett.
Paraphrasing, of course.
When you were, I'm not saying seeking a girlfriend or like in high school and college, which guys got the girls? The guys that were desperate to get girls? Desperate. Selling themselves hard. Or the very, really super confident guys who laid back and were like, I know who I am.
The aloof ones as well, man. Those are the ones too. Like they just, they pretended they just didn't care. And guess what?
You think I'm gonna go hunt you? No, you hunt me. You hunt me. All right.
Yes.
So
when hunting for girls, do you think the confidence or not, Brett?
So I'm just saying, like, it's the same thing with players. If you're slobbering all over their knob, I mean, that's annoying. Who wants that? I mean, maybe some girls are into, like, having guys chase them, or usually those girls are into a group of guys chasing them around, and then they pick one desperate soul, and then they fuck them over in a couple of months or whatever. I've seen those guys. Don't be one of those guys. So we don't need to be that girl or that dude, right, who is just desperate for any player out there. We just need to be open to them. Hey, you want to hang out sometime? Cool. If not, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Right?
I was no ladies' man. However, I had my fair share of just, again, being aloof and having a fun sense of humor. That's all I needed. That's all I needed.
Clearly, I was the ladies' man of the group, of the two of us. Clearly. I was in a band, goddammit, it counts for something.
Now Derek wants no ladies.
No, I don't want it.
No ladies.
Yeah. It was a good run, and I'm perfectly happy with just me and Mr. Stroker. All right. I call him Stroker Ace. Julian Vivas for $4.99. Is Banks confirmed wanting to play for Germany? Not confirmed. I mean, he basically said that. He's been contacted by Germany, and that he's torn. His asshole hurts.
Now, we're going to more depth in this later, but also came out and stated that I'm just not really concerning myself with international play right now. I'm focusing myself on Augsburg and all the games that we have left in the season. Yeah. Which is weird because literally at the beginning of the season, he was sitting there going, I have dreams of playing for the United States, winning titles.
Whatever.
I don't know.
He said that. He said that. But how people have missed not only his interview in Germany, but also his now interview that was published a couple days ago with Jeff Carlisle. You couldn't be less committed to the U.S. men's national team in both of those interviews than Noahkai Banks. So, yes, he's obviously had a phone call from the German, probably Nagelsmann. He didn't say his name, but he said coaches. And you would assume that coach would be Nagelsmann. And Nagelsmann said, hey, man, you don't need to play this World Cup. 4 years from now, you could be playing for us. You don't even need to commit now. You could still play for the U.S. after this. So just hold off. We like what you're doing. We really believe you're a future German national team player. And I know your heart's there. You've lived here your whole life. He's right. And then Banks came out in the interview in early March and said, I'm torn. I've had 2 large penises in my ass now. And he's only had one huge penis in his ass. One promise of a penis in the ass. No, untrue. He has been contacted physically by both parties now.
Over the phone, if anything. He dialed a 1-800 number and paid for communication there.
That's a DPA. I'm sorry. Any way you put it, he's been double penetrated. And he said it hurts, and he's torn. He's not sure what, so he's going to pull both dicks out now, and he's going to wait around and then decide which one he wants to ride later. He is not ready to make a decision. And so there you go.
DMR says, no wonder he's torn with both of them inside there.
So he can let his rectum repair. He can still be on our team later if the coach wants him. The next coach wants him. The next U.S. And if we want him, right? A lot of people are out there saying, fuck him, right?
So no, that's the thing too, because here's the thing. Let's just say he's torn. He doesn't want to make a decision now. And then next cycle, he makes a decision, wants to play for the U.S. men's national team. He's murkied up the water at this point. There's going to be a portion of the fan base that's not going to like him, not going to respect him. He shouldn't be playing, et cetera, et cetera. But again, if he comes over and he plays and he does well, 80% of the fan base is either going to forgive or not even remember that this was even a storyline.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see when it happens.
There'll be us that have the long memories and sit there and go like, oh, well, I mean, it's always fun being a silver medal, but cool, I guess.
He's torn because he didn't use any lube.
Yeah.
Yeah, lube would help there. I would say this. Also, Colbreth will play for Germany if he's good. Of course he will.
Mm-hmm.
Colbreth lived most of his life in Germany. All right, so yeah, there's a cultural pull there. I mean, I'm a dual Nat. I understand it. Now, it wouldn't have been much of a decision for me, All right. I'm full-blooded American and have been since I was probably 9. I was a little confused between the ages of 6 and 9. But after that, I pretty much figured it out.
I never really thought about that type of stuff at that age.
I did. Because when I got here, the kids made fun of me for my German accent. Okay. So
I'm glad to see that my joke just went right over your head.
No, I got it. It's too gross, though.
Sure.
It's gross and it's inappropriate.
Sure. I was just saying, I'm kind of concerned that you were thinking about that stuff at that age. I mean, it's weird.
It's just not right, Brett. It's so many levels. All right. Anyhow, so I was a little torn.
Now it's getting a little weird, Derek.
At the age of 6, 7, and 8. But you know what? At 9, I figured it out. This is horrible. What are we doing?
Horrible.
This is terrible.
We can cut out this segment of the show, right?
No, we can't.
We're live.
It's unfortunately live. Okay, so by a certain age, I knew I was American. Even though I went back to Germany again when I was 11, by then I pretty much knew I was an American. I'd lost most of my German accent at that point, and I'd forgot a lot of German, which I had to relearn when I moved back there again. Anyhow, because I only had a 4-year-old level of German. Which, didn't get much better because my mom was busy learning English, so she stopped speaking German when we moved here. Anyhow, there is no way that girls talk to you guys. People don't realize how good looking we once were.
Once. Come on, ladies.
There are pictures of me online when I was younger. Go find them. Just put in Derek Ritchie, Brando, or whatever. I wasn't always.
Oh, okay. As an adult, okay. Again, Derek.
I wasn't always such an ogre. Trust me. Okay. But I was always confident, so there's a little different there.
German porn scared Derek so much that he committed immediately to the U.S.
Just a lot of German porn is really bad.
Ah!
Are you talking about like the scat and all that? Yeah, that does scare me. But a lot of German porn is not that awful. It's not all bad. Or anyhow, during my research, I would say, at least when I researched German porn. Anyhow, this has just been bad, Brett. I can't stop laughing. All right, dual Nat Panic, cap him now, I say. U20 player Cruz Medea made his childhood dreams come true by joining Chivas this year. Born in the USA to Mexican parents. Yeah, He's spoken in the past about his international allegiance between the U.S. and Mexico. Did he speak it in English or Spanish? I almost said Mexican. Oh, Jesus.
I'm proud to be Mexican.
I'm proud to be a Mexican. I'm also proud to be American. He told MLS Pro Next Pro YouTube channel. Okay, it's both sides. And, I guess it comes to both. It comes down to, like me personally, my choice and my preference. Do you like one or do you like two? At the end of the day, I'm still not there yet. The door's open. Oh,
Back
Jesus.
door's always open, yeah.
all the way. Its doors are open all the way.
For both countries, too.
For both countries. So it does weigh a ton when, you have some family members and they still live in Mexico and are still calling me constantly and stuff like that. And then I have my whole family here. My parents are first generation Americans. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, good to know you're open to both, my friend.
It's all a matter of preference.
Yeah, I got a lot of space. I've been practicing. This is so bad.
I think we've lost it, yeah.
Oh, God damn it. I can't stop now. I'm not even high. All right. And I haven't been, by the way, in this show for years. I don't do that anymore. Okay. All right. Here we go. Sorry. For the 178 of you here, make sure you like, subscribe.
I'm sorry.
And share with your grandma. And I'm really sorry about all the. All right. I'm straightening this show up. God damn it. Let's zip this up, Red.
Yeah. You lock it
up. All right.
Lock it up. All right. Well, let's change subjects here.
Transfer news. Transfer news. Who's getting mounted on transfer news? Who's getting ogled on transfer news? Transfer news. Everyone loves that transfer news, but me. Whatever.
All righty. Alexander Staff.
It didn't take much, Derek, for you to get triggered again.
You had to put that up next. Will reportedly leave Eintracht Frankfurt this summer. Apparently, he fell short, a little short. According to Sky, Alexander Staff wants to leave Eintracht. Reasons for Staff, who is tied until 2028, are the low chances he has received with the pros. Well, maybe you're just not good enough, Mr. Staff.
Well, it's a good reason to make the move, though.
Mm-hmm. His nickname is Shorty, so maybe he just didn't bring it. So where's he going to go? He could come back to USL if you're not good enough for a friend, to get chances there. How old was he again? He's playing for the 2 team, right? Or was he playing for the U19s?
Let's see here. He is a 17-year-old.
Oh, he's playing for the U20s or U19s. I'm sorry.
He's another German American.
Another German American?
Yeah.
Okay. So his dad is American.
Born and raised in Germany.
Now, with a name like Staff.
The place of birth. The castle? What the fuck is that? Is a place called the Castle? No, I said the Castle. That depends.
The Castle? What?
Yeah. Well,
is that a town in Germany?
There it is. The Castle. Where were you born? I was born in the Castle.
Of course he was. His name is Staff.
All right, I've got to figure this out now.
All right, look up the Castle.
The Castle, Germany.
That's not a town, is it?
I mean, there are many castles within Germany, but no, I don't think there's a city called the Castle, as far as I know.
Did you put the Castle, comma Germany?
I just put the Castle, Germany. Hold on, the Castle.
Put a comma there.
Germany. No, it just brings up all the castles within Germany. Apparently, they're closed. They all open at 9 a.m. though.
Of course they do, and they're closed Tuesdays or Saturday through Monday. All right, as they used to be. All right. Well, I don't know where the castle is.
We got to reach out to our friend at Transfer Market and have him research a little bit there.
Got to reach out to him.
Born in the castle. What's the matter with you?
That's like when I tell people I'm born in Fort Knox, and they're like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Not the vault. It's a fucking army base, guys. I wasn't born in a goddamn vault." All right. Anyhow, yeah. Okay. Good luck to Mr. Staff.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody says I can't stop touching myself for your laugh, Derek. Okay. Well, hey, man, you get your kicks where you can, brother.
Right
on. Monterey Bay FC signs U.S. men's national team international Sebastian Lletget. How is he? He's like got what 36 now, maybe 35. 35.
He's got to be mid-30s area. Apparently, he's part owner of Monterey Bay.
Oh, okay. So he's paying himself. All right.
Yeah.
I wish him the best in all his contributions for both LAFC, who I am a fan of, or was when he played. Still am. Not happy with the way they played this weekend, by the way.
You mean Galaxy?
Yeah.
You
Did I say LAFC? LAG.
You
Sorry.
threw me for our loop there, man.
Fuck. It's just so, yeah. LAG. So when he played for LAG, that was the time when Zlatan was there, and before that, and he made some really good contributions, and to the U.S. men's national team too. So,
Derek the bandwagoner.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm sure the LG people are like, "What the hell? How could you do that?
You betrayed us, traitor."
I did watch the LAFC game this weekend too. I will say that LAG were very disappointing this weekend, and they probably could have used Leggett in some cases. I don't know where he is physically and how well he's playing now. So,
Calvin wants to know if he's still with Becky G. Yes,
probably. Yeah.
Yes, they had that whole kerfuffle, and I thought they were going to get divorced or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Enough of that. Good luck. Thank you for your service.
Sebastian Berhalter has 4 assists in 4 games and likely heading to Europe soon.
Oh, I'm sure somebody will recognize this. I will be really shocked if he's not playing in Germany after the World Cup.
Yeah.
I really would be shocked. Berhalter is a super German name. I don't think he speaks German, but his father played there. I think he'd fit in just fine. I think he'd be a big bonus for any German team. Certainly a bonus for a low-grade EPL team in the bottom 4 or 5, maybe, or a bonus for a championship team. So certainly a big bonus for a championship team. This is a late bloomer, though.
Another championship team getting another Ada Morris-esque.
Yeah, although I mean, he's a late bloomer, and those are rare. He's a rare thing. That does not happen much in today's game anymore, where you're in your mid-20s and all of a sudden you blossom into a really, really great MLS player. And let's not even shrink it there. He's played – I watched that game this weekend too. Fabulous. Played great football. And so, yeah, I'd be shocked if he's not playing somewhere in Europe after the World Cup.
Yeah. And I think we have him slotted right now in our 26.
We do.
Yeah.
Yep.
At least the 26 coming up here in March.
Yeah,
I think World Cup too, though.
We lubed him up and squeezed him in. Yep.
There we go. Yep.
All right. What else we got here? Ben
Injury
Kamafi
updates.
injury.
We got a couple of them.
It's not good. It is a lateral meniscus, which really sucks because it looks like he had earned himself a starting spot. This was his second game starting in a row. The coach really seemed to like what he did the first game, willing to commit to him to play the second in a row. 11 minutes in, kaput. The knee goes kaput. So that's an injury that could be months. Could be weeks. But could be months.
Yeah. I guess it all depends on the severity of it.
Yeah, we don't know how bad the tear is. This is injury. If it's a really bad tear, this could take longer. If it's just a small tear, we're talking about, a number of weeks. If it's a really bad one, months.
Yeah.
It didn't.
We'll find out in the upcoming days how severe it is. Basically, what is it?
I'm thinking small because he walked off.
Yeah,
small tear. He walked off. So.
Yeah, sucks. Sucks.
A kid that honestly he makes some waves in Parma and continues to play great. In Italy for the next 2 or 3 years, he stays there. He's got a shot 4 years from now at a World Cup, right? Any update from Alex on Tyler Adams absent today against Burnley? Bournemouth not risking him. Roster comes out next week for the March window. I don't think they didn't play him just for the United States.
No. Tyler said he felt something in training yesterday and decided not to risk him today.
Yeah. And, Tyler could have made that up. I doubt he did because he loves to play. So.
Well, I was going to say that. I mean, quite frankly, Bournemouth, that has nothing to do with the World Cup or the upcoming March window. And Bournemouth is like, well, Jesus, this guy's been injured so fucking much for us that we're not going to take the chance. He's just going to sit out, recover for a week, go from there. Like, there's an international window coming up, of course, but
You got to be careful with him. If he takes a shit and he comes off the toilet and said something doesn't feel right, you sit him. You sit him. Okay? So.
Serginho Dest's hamstring injury is apparently a 6 to 8 weeks per a source.
Just enough to miss the March window. So there you go.
Well, I mean, as long as he doesn't end up missing the World Cup. Right?
No, I don't think he will unless he gets injured again.
That's what I'm saying. You're like, well, just to miss the March window. I'm like, I don't give a rat's ass about March. He's slotted in for the World Cup roster for me. As long as he's healthy there, I don't care about this window.
I hate these hamstring things, though.
100% agree, yeah.
Yeah, because these sometimes turn into sports hernias later. I fucking hate it. So I hope it's not something like that. So we'll see.
Let's see here. Apparently, Liao had some kind of a meltdown this weekend.
He was acting like a bitch. Let's be honest. Purple Patch Pulisic pushed Leao over the edge. Leao should be more professional, but we know what it's like when your best help is Pulisic. Well, that's a dick thing to say, but it's coming from Dom, so it shouldn't be that surprise. Dom's been shitting all over Pulisic every chance he gets. So, listen, I know Pulisic missed the pass. Okay,
just didn't give the pass.
I watched the live game. He didn't see it. He didn't make it, or he saw it and didn't think it was that clear, or he's worried Leao was already offsides. Whatever it was, for Leao to get that upset about, like, how many runs does Pulisic make a game and nobody passes him the ball?
Well, how many times does Leao have the opportunity to make a pass and opt to not do anything? Not saying that he doesn't create opportunities as well. I'm shitting on him by any means. But the fact that he's pissed off about something that he does on a regular basis too. Is fascinating.
I mean, how many passes to Pulisic has Leao missed this season? I can name them because, when I watch AC Milan, what do I watch? I watch Pulisic. And I notice who has the ball, and I notice that Pulisic doesn't get the ball when he makes the runs. So, hey, man, this stream flows both ways, buddy. And Leao was just a total cunt when he came off. Like, manager trying to give him a hug. He was all pissy about that. He was like, get the fuck off of me. Magic Mike came over. He's like, get the fuck off of me. Come on, dude. Grow up. Grow up. All right? I know you're frustrated, but grow up. All right. 3 months to go before the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and Doug McIntyre has projected the U.S. men's national. Can this change much from what he's already been doing?
I mean, a little bit here. I mean, I think most of us agree with 90% of this.
I would guess it's not. Yeah. Yep. Weah as a center back? No.
There you go. I was waiting for it to click in there.
No. Doug, what are you thinking, my man? The guy's played a lot of different positions. He's played as a 10, a center forward, a wing back, a winger, a fullback, a center back. Are we kidding ourselves here? No, he's not a center back.
Maybe he's looking at that as being a destined way I can flip flop around, or maybe Jedi sits more back. I don't know, or Tessman or Adams doing it. I don't know.
Doug,
that's a unique selection there.
It's not only unique, it's not right. So Doug knows this is not right. That's where you're just shooting for some shit, because it's basically the same lineup he's been putting out. Listen, I get it. Freeman's not playing at Villarreal. I get it. I don't think Poch cares. I honestly don't think he cares. Yeah. So you don't just squeeze one of your top players on when he doesn't and never has shown he can play that position ever. That's not how you do this.
And not only that, but if you're squeezing Weah there, then you're basically taking him out of a contention for another position higher up the pitch. And you're going to be relying on somebody else who may not necessarily be equal to in that sense.
Can you imagine him arriving to camp and Poch is like, hey, listen, I got this great idea for you. We're going to play you as a center back. I'm sure Weah be like, what? No. You already pushing me back to fullback, and I want to play winger or a 10 or a center forward, and now you're pushing me all the way back to center back. Fuck you. I've never played center back in my life. I have no fucking clue what to do there. It's a joke, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be a joke.
I mean, although I would say this much, I think Weah, while he may, we could all probably hear his eyes rolling here in Indy, being down, they're going to be in Atlanta. I would wager that if Poch came out and said, "Hey, I'm going to try you at center back," that he would throw a fit about it.
So Colin brings this up again. He says, "Why do you guys think the coach would change the lineup that beat Uruguay 5-1? Because coaches do that all the time. It's a one-off friendly against an Uruguay that looked really out of step. And yeah, did we play well? Yeah. That doesn't mean that decided his lineup that day. And I put money on the fact that we're going to see the best roster of mostly European players starting the first two games. I do. I do think Berhalter's going to get time. I do think Roldan might even get a minute or two. I just don't think it's going to change that dramatically from what Doug's projecting outside of Weah playing.
Well, and what we've seen over the course of windows are concerned, the team he plays on the first game does not mean they're going to be playing in the second game. He does a lot of massive amounts of rotation within the window. So you mentioned how you think Berhalter is going to see playing time. You may even see Roldan with a few minutes. You could see them get significant minutes because they're going to heavily rotate.
Yeah, they will rotate. Yeah.
So just because we had listed Tessman and Adams as the starting center mid duo doesn't mean the next match we're going to see those two again. Or
right.
Maybe just one of them, or who knows? Maybe he does a wholesale change. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think you can take that game and say that's what we're going to see going forward. I don't think that game is the deciding factor for Poch. I think he's got all kinds of things going in his head, including what's my actual best 11. Let's try that. Or because I don't think he thinks that was maybe it's his best functioning 11 that we've seen so far. So maybe there's something to that. I guess we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah.
We'll find out. All right. March camp roster drops tomorrow, which is good to know because we're doing the show tonight. It would have been nice if it dropped today.
Just to cover on that real quick, Derek. When it does come out, did you want to do a recorded stream?
We will do a recorded show when it does come out. If it does come out tomorrow, as Joe Lazo says, then yeah, we're obviously gonna bust out a show. So again, I think they should bring as many players as possible to stay in the loop, but focus on the best 11. Well, they're going to bring 26.
I asked him about the 28. Was there some announcement that said that they're going to bring in more? Because from all I've heard, I understand it's going to be 26.
Yeah, because Poch even said in an interview, no, I'm not going to bring extra players that I'm going to have to cut later. I don't want to do that. So I thought that meant for March and the World Cup, but maybe I didn't interpret what he said correctly.
Mr. Danny says, why not just do a live show on Thursday instead of a recorded show tomorrow?
Well, then it's all burned out. Everybody's already made every comment in the world about it by Thursday. So
it will sound like regurgitating it, yeah.
Yeah. We'll be
Plus, us having a recorded show is good for us.
It is good for our algorithm because let's be really honest, people. YouTube hate our show. They do not like the fact that all we do is live shows. They do not like it at all. So if we can get in an occasional recorded show, we're going to do it just to help our algorithm a little. And believe me, we don't do it enough to even help a little at this point. We are killing ourselves.
Seymour says the reason we don't do a Thursday shows we're lazy fucks.
No. It isn't. We did 2 shows for years, a week. And frankly, let's be really honest, there just isn't a lot to cover except for, coming up, we'll be doing 2 shows during the World Cup, leading into the World Cup. Will we go back to the 2 weeks?
March window.
Yeah. March window, we'll be doing 2 shows a week. But prior to that, there just isn't enough news out there to justify doing 2 shows a week. So it is what it is. All right. Whose pick is this?
This was Joe Osmo, so I was just gonna run. We're gonna run through it quickly. Mind you, picked 28, so there's at least 2 players on here who won't make it, but we'll see if there's anybody standing out.
That's fine. It's fine. It's all fine so far. At least he didn't throw Banks in there. That's good. Jedi, Wea, Scally, Arson. Yep, all good. Cardoso, rolled on. Morris is, I don't know. We'll see about that one. Adams, I think Morris is one of the guys who might get the axe here. But
sadly enough, it has nothing to do with his actual play for the U.S. men's national team.
No.
He's been pretty consistent recently.
He's been consistent with his club as well. So, but he might get the axe in that group. Pulisic, McKenny, Zendejas, Aronson, Tillman, Reyna. Yeah, I think the toss-up is Reyna versus Zendejas. I don't
know. I guess my mentality is I think Gio, despite the fact he doesn't play at his club level, brings more to the team than Brendan does.
Well, one of these guys has got to go because he's got 28. This is too many.
I agree. And unfortunately, Alex is playing well for Club America.
Yeah,
and he played well when he got called in. So I mean, this is a tough call here.
And is Luna really out? I mean, he was in the new jersey kit photos.
Well, you've been saying past weeks he's been injured, but did he play this week?
No. Or maybe he did, and I didn't notice. He wasn't in the starting lineup, as far as I recall, for RSL. So there's that.
Seymour brings up a great point. Do we need 6 defensive mids?
No, that's why I said Aiden Morris is probably someone's getting hacked off that list.
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe my mom can be on the team. Maybe she could be. And then strikers.
Flo Turtle says he came off the bench, so I guess Luna came off the bench.
So he's back from injury.
He's back.
Does that mean he's going to be called up to March? I mean, somebody's getting fucked there. There's no way around it. It's going to be someone's getting fucked.
Possibly too, if well, look at the striker because we have 4 strikers too.
Because there are too many attacking mids on this list. Somebody's getting fucked. If you want to call it that, somebody's getting hacked off that list. Strikers could be one of these guys getting hacked off the list, and that's probably Ajiman.
I'm pretty positive one of them will, because I mean, unless Poch really wants to see both Wright and Ajiman in camp to gauge who the third striker will be, I don't know, but I think one of them is getting cut.
There are too many strikers, too many mids, or too many defensive mids on this lineup, this roster. Yeah. Someone's going out of these 3 groups. Someone is getting. A couple of them are getting cut.
On the D mid again, I think again with Poch Henry are going over to the Atletico match, the Champions League match, or whatever against Tottenham. I think this is gonna be Cardos's last chance with Poch. So I think he'll be included. So I mean, again, this is one reason why I think Aiden Morris might get nixed, or maybe Poch has already seen enough of Roldán and Berhalter to know what they're going to bring to the equation. I don't know.
I mean, the crazy
is Tyler going to be healthy? I don't know.
Only 2 guys are starting from the defensive mid package, and 2 guys are starting from attacking mid package. So you got a shitload of 12 players there. Someone is getting cut from there. I'm sorry.
Well, again, we're only going to be losing 2 players from this roster, assuming that this is the 28 to 26, whatever.
He said 28, but
yeah. So I'm saying 2 will get nixed regardless.
Yeah. So that seems like a lot of players for 4 positions, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like
we have 4 strikers for 1 position.
Well, if you're playing 3 center backs, you certainly want more than 5, I think.
You have Joe Scally. What are you talking about?
That's true. He can flip-flop. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. And according to Doug McIntyre, so can Wea. All right. You go, Doug. All right, what else we got?
Main
topic?
Oh, maybe. Oh, this is the you kind of briefly mentioned this. This is the 40 plus names that you can customize your jerseys with. And Thomas is asking, should we read anything into that?
A little. Banks is not on there.
I'm gonna run through this really quick, and we'll just call it a name that we think is stupid to be on here.
All right.
Zimmerman.
Good. Well, Zimmerman was showing off the new uniforms in one of the ads, so I don't think Moose is making this team, but okay.
Yeah.
I don't think Jack McGlynn's making this team.
Sands is injured now.
Yep, he's not making it. Tolkien's not making it.
Not if Jedi remains healthy.
Josh Sargent's definitely not making this
team. Not
team.
gonna make it. Luca De La Torre.
Not making it.
Ooh, that looks like Miles Robinson next, but yep, there he is.
There he is. Yeah.
Ariel
is not making this team.
Ajimon, I can understand why he might be included there because he is contending for that third spot.
I mean, you never know based on injury. He still
Paxton.
might. Yeah, he's not making this team.
Quinn Sullivan's
not making it. Yeah.
Wait, we already talked about Zimmerman. Zimmerman's on there twice.
How's he on here twice? Anyhow.
Or maybe that first one was duplicate. Brian White, look at that one.
He's not. He scores in MLS, but he's not making the team. Chris Brady's questionable. Damian Downs isn't making shit. He has done nothing for Hamburg. I mean, I shouldn't say that. He's been decent in trapping the ball and kicking it off to other people. As far as scoring goals and assists, he's done shit for Hamburg. So, nothing. Yeah, I mean that, and then his failure in the championship was massive. And then he crumbled on social media, cowered into a corner, didn't want to play for the team, asked to be sent back to Germany. They obliged. He's in Hamburg. He's done dick nothing there. As far as being the center forward for that team and starting multiple games, nothing. So there.
Yeah.
Noahkai Banks' comments. People say many things. Some are true, some are lies. Sometimes if you say a lie long enough, people believe it's true. Well, what are the lies, Noahkai? What are the lies you were speaking of? Because you said all that you said. Like it was all in there. You're torn. You got a call from the German team. You don't want to
make a decision based on the World Cup.
Right. Don't want to make a commitment this World Cup. What are the lies?
Well, that's why I was saying you can't take what he said in the interview as any part of the lie because that's what he said. So looking at what the German media has said that's been in addition to what Noahkai Banks says, is it the fact that he favors Germany?
I mean, it seems like he's seriously considering them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it that he won't accept a March call-up?
He said he
didn't.
He didn't, according to reports today.
Well, not only the German media, but also now Carlisle.
Not been in contact with Germany. If he said he was. So
that must be the lie, right?
That's the only lie that he said that might be a lie. That he said, not what others said. He said it. And a lot of people are saying, no, you've not been. Well, that one report was he's not been in contact with any senior members of the German national. Well, fuck you, dude, of the German Federation. Is the coach of the fucking national team not a senior member? He's not a senior member of the German Federation, but he's certainly a senior member of the team.
Mm-hmm.
That's not count like somebody's trying to clarify for the dude who's usually not wrong about his reporting on German things. But I don't know what he's talking about. If you talk to the coaches of the national team and they're telling you need to wait 4 years, don't make a rash decision. You should be able to play for us in 4 years. That's talking to the national team coach.
Yeah.
All right. So what the fuck? Makes no sense.
All right. I want to paint a picture of the timeline of Noahkai Banks here.
Let's not make it too long.
It's going to be 45 minutes at least, Derek. Come on. All right, so we've got this interview of Noahkai talking about his time with the U.S. men's national team. This happened before the U20 World Cup, before his call up to the U.S. men's national team.
Can I say this real quick?
Sure.
PT69 says, we lost Nathaniel Brown, and now we're about to lose Noahkai Banks. We never had Nathaniel Brown.
Yeah.
I want to make it really clear. It's not even clear until very late that we actually contacted him, because he did say that later on. I have been contacted. Before, like 5 months before, he said he had not. Then he said he had, but then it's too late already, right, for the most part. And now he's played for the German national team, big boy team. So I don't think we necessarily ever really had Nathaniel Brown. To say we lost him would meant he was on the ship. He was never on the ship. Noahkai Banks has been on our ship. He's been on the boat, where Poch has been steering the ship as captain. He's been on that boat. We lost him.
He grabbed an oar, yeah.
And as much as we screamed and yelled at Poch to reach out to Banks and said it was a crime that he didn't, I don't think we can actually say we lost him in the sense that he was ever on board. He didn't go overboard because he was never on board. So his heart may have never been in it in the first place. Yep.
So let's listen to this interview again. This happened before the U20 World Cup, which occurred in around September, I believe is what he said. I don't recall. It's somewhere in that range. So.
Sound.
Can't hear it? I thought I hit son of a gun.
Son
of a gun.
Of a goddamn gun.
I mean, I played the U17 World Cup. I played with the U19s, now with the U20s. There's a U20 World Cup in September. And every time I come back to play with my friends, with my teammates, and to wear the badge, it means a lot, to be honest.
So far, it's a nice interview.
Yep.
What has been your favorite moment so far?
I would say the first game at the U17 World Cup.
I mean, that's all that he really said about commitment, though, in this interview. Like, that's...
This is something at the very end, trust me.
Oh, okay.
Time I played in a huge stadium. It was a really, really special moment for all of us.
And what are your hopes for the future?
Oh, here it is.
To become a U.S. men's national team player and to win some titles with them, of course.
Perfect.
And then, rumor has it, in November, so that this is September.
Well, nope. You're skipping a couple things here. So this happened before September because there was an upcoming U20 World Cup, which is what he talked about, which is in September. In September, he got called up to the U.S. men's national team.
Yep.
Dressed for one game, did not play.
Yep.
But remember, there's all of August that led into this. So he wasn't playing for Augsburg at this point. I think he got some bit minutes last season or whatever. He does the preseason with Augsburg, does this interview, starts playing in August, gets some minutes, but it wasn't a consistent starter until after the September window. So he's called in, didn't play. All of a sudden, he became a consistent starter for Augsburg. He was not included in the October window, was not included in the November window. Then as of February/March, he was torn.
So the rumors are the call from the German Federation was in November. From the coach. So, yeah, I'm not sure what happened in October, but maybe he had already heard something by then. But I thought the Nagelsmann call came in November. Regardless, that call was somewhat convincing. And since then, he's been on the trip that we've been on, which is now I'm torn. That whole spiel we just heard out the window. Okay. So there you go.
Well, and again, I think after the September window, when he started getting starts consistently, because we talked about this, because you had mentioned, you're like, oh, I don't think it was a starter right then. Literally, like the week after he came back from the U.S. men's national team camp, at that point, he basically became a consistent starter for Augsburg. Now, I don't know if somebody started saying, "Hey, if you keep playing like this, you might get some notice from the German national team." And then you're saying that rumor is that he was contacted in November
by Nagelsmann in November. That doesn't mean somebody else hadn't already reached out to him, like an assistant coach in October, right?
Yeah. So again, just paint the picture. The fact that he dressed one game, did not play. I mean, I think at some point, at the beginning of the season, even starting in his August when he wasn't really getting consistent playing time, I think somebody was already in his ear saying, "Dude, you're a promising young talent, and you may want to hold off on this whole commitment stuff for now."
Yeah, but I think the real convincer is when Nagelsmann calls.
Oh, sure. I
think that's
for a national team coach calls you. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's when you're like, "Oh shit, this is serious. This is no longer assistant coaches. This is the man."
Yeah,
right?
and I think the draw, obviously, because I think we can take all of what's been said and read between the lines. That clearly, I think, his aspirations are to play for the German national team first and foremost. Not saying he doesn't have respect for the U.S. badge or anything like that, and wouldn't mind playing for the U.S. men's national team, but I think the opportunity is starting to arise, and he sees a potential future playing with the German national team.
And then I saw posts like, "What an asshole, taking up all those spots for other players through the whole youth system for the U.S. youth teams." Man, he doesn't know that.
Yeah, we can't gamble that either. Like, well, geez, this still now might pick another team over us.
Well, yeah, but
you can't continue to do that.
He's a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16. He's not even thinking about that. All he knows is that this team cares about him. That's all he's played for so far. But then you get the sweet whisperings in your ear from, the German national team, and you're like, okay, wait, well, hold on. They believe in me too. And they think I could make the next World Cup. And they're telling me, you don't have to play this World Cup and make a decision yet. Wait. You could be playing for the German national team in like a year and a half. Just give it some time. You're young. You're 19 years old. You don't have to make this commitment now. So he bought it.
I mean, it's like the equivalent of a guy having a long-term relationship all the way through high school. Then he goes to college, and all of a sudden, the lead cheerleader wants to date him.
Yeah.
So
something like that. Yeah, you thought your girlfriend in high school was hot. Then you go to college, and she goes to Purdue, and you're in Indiana, and you're having this long-distance relationship. And she barely calls, like Poch. And all of a sudden, this hot chick calls you up and says, "Hey, man, I'm kind of interested in going out with you. I know you're kind of going out with that other person, but yeah, it's you. You're like, oh, wow, the hot cheerleader on this college.
I can spend my Friday nights either on a Zoom call, or I can go to the movies and go drinking with this girl."
If you got a Zoom call from Poch, that'd be amazing. Because he does not talk to players. So, yeah, getting an actual call from Nagelsmann is going to make a huge difference. So, I'm sure it made a big difference for him. As it's very clear, while born in Hawaii, he's lived in his whole life for the most part in Germany. So,
minus first 8 years.
But then there's this interview with Jeff Carlisle that was just dropped a couple days ago that they have been hiding from us for whatever reason. Maybe I missed it. I can't believe I would have missed it. And all of us would have missed it. But this dropped 2 days ago, but it was filmed in February. Why did ESPN not post this? Because it's very clear with this interview with Jeff Carlisle, who keeps saying, "Aren't you excited for the World Cup? Are you ready to go?" He's like, "Nah, I mean, I'm not. I'm more worried about Augsburg.
I've got so many games left of my club team."
You sound like Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice, but
it's pretty spot on.
Yeah,
I feel like it was a pretty spot on impersonation, Derek. I just think you need to listen to it again.
You just need to do the part where he's saying
it was a huge opportunity.
Yeah, I've got a bigger fish to fry in Augsburg right now, which is what he says twice.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Every kid dreams of playing in the World Cup. How much are you thinking about this summer and your chances to go to that?
Yeah, also we have we have a lot of games left here, so
Augsburg.
I just really try to focus here, and then let's see what happens in the summer. But I don't think it's the time right now to think about the World Cup or anything else than our games, because we're in a different position, and that's more important at the moment.
Jesus. Fuck you and your World Cup that are a few months off. I'm just thinking about Augsburg, bitch. That is a far cry.
Hey, aren't you excited?
That's a far cry from him saying, my dream is to play for the U.S. men's national team. Now that's not even, he didn't even say it. I mean, when he asked the question, look at his facial expressions. He's like, I already have a pat answer for this one.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't even know how in this, let's say next cycle comes around and he's not getting a call up from the German national team, whatever. And all of a sudden he's like, all right, well, maybe I'll play for the U.S. How do you make that flip over? How do you make the argument? Because quite frankly, you go from saying the right things. I'm looking forward to representing the U.S. men's national team and winning titles to, I can't even think about the upcoming World Cup. I've got a lot of club games to concern myself.
Fuck the World Cup. What's
World
that?
Cup, what is that?
Augsburg, way more important. And here's the other thing. There are a lot of people out there who are saying, oh, well, even that German interview he did, he's saying all the right things. No, he's not. Can we stop saying that he said all the right things? He said the dumbest things. If you are truly torn, you keep that shit to yourself and you let things play out and you keep it undercover. All right. And Poch calls and you say, I'm not ready to commit. You don't put this all out in public that you're torn, you're feeling more German these days, that you're not as committed as you said 3 months ago. You don't say that. You don't do it. You don't make it public. Unless somebody told you, U.S. men's national team, make that shit public because we don't want this to fall on us. All right? When you don't show up, we don't want that falling on us, which I doubt they said. I'm sure they were surprised.
Do you think they held on to this interview just in case he did accept the March window?
I think they held on to it because they didn't want to. They wanted to give the U.S. men's national team time to react to this. And so they did. But by early March, it was over. Because then he said in the German media too, well, I'm not really interested in the World Cup. I got other things to worry about. I'm not making a decision. World Cup, not that important to me. Which is what he just said here. Okay? It's not that important. Augsburg's more important.
It's a stupid comment to make in the sense that there are no Augsburg games that are going to be going on during this March window.
Right.
And there's no more windows that are going to interrupt the season until it's the World Cup, which is going to be after the season's over. So that's great that you're focusing on the Augsburg games, but your international play is not a factor in causing you to miss any games unless you get injured because, well, that's a possibility, I guess. But there's nothing about playing for the U.S. that would stop you from being able to focus on your club ball.
Yeah,
unless your interest is to not play for the U.S. and to play for the German national team because there's interest there.
So the extreme worst thing he could have actually done was take a March call-up, play a game, a full game, maybe. Let's say he gets 90 minutes, play really well, and then tell Poch, I'm not interested in the World Cup. That probably would have been worse. So maybe he did the right thing in the end. But to say this is how it should have been handled, well, he's saying all the right things. No, he said too much. He didn't need to say that to anybody but Poch. All right? I am not ready to commit to the U.S. men's. That's all he has to say is say it to Poch. That's it. The only person or the assistant coaches that need to know this and all the ins and outs. Now, he set himself up because Poch could have covered for him and said, he's too young. We're not ready. He's not ready for a World Cup yet.
Picked up a slight knock, and
4
we
years
for the World Cup.
4 years from now, he'll be ready, but not now. Could have covered for him, right? And then, we wouldn't all thought when he decides to play for us 3 years from now, because the Germans never really made a commitment to him or called him up or cap-tied him. But he is, if he's going to go, he's going to have to make a one-time switch. So there's that too. Listen, it's a mess. It's a total mess. So,
Yeah.
All right.
It is what it is.
Yep.
But yeah, here's Carlo's article just talking about how he opted out of the U.S. Men's National Team March, according to the sources.
Yep.
Tax says U.S. Men's National Team lost Nathaniel Brown and Noahkai Banks, all less than a year away from the 2026 World Cup.
Again, I can't really honestly say we lost Nathaniel Brown because I don't think we ever had him. I know that's semantics. We never really ever showed like we ever had any hook in him. So it's impossible to say we lost him. Like, you got to hook a fish first before you lose it. Like, otherwise it's just a fish swimming in the sea. Okay.
Well, I mean, during the massive call-outs saying Poch needs to be scouting Brown, I mean, what was happening during that time period?
Well, that's the thing.
It wasn't being called in. I imagine if he was eligible, Poch would have been like reaching out to him.
We never threw a hook into the sea to even catch Brown until much later, and it was already too late. So we were calling it on it for some time, and the hook was the bait and the hook was thrown out, but it was already over. Nathaniel Brown already made his decision. So that's a guy you needed to recruit much earlier. And now, yeah, he's a goner. But I don't think we either ever threw out a hook, and nor have we ever had him on the hook. So it's impossible to say we lost him. He was never on the line. Okay.
Says it's not semantics. It's the same people saying we lost Rossi, which those people are wrong.
Yeah, they're wrong. We never lost Rossi. He never got hooked. We threw out hook. At least in that case, there was one hook thrown, but he never bit. So we never had him on the line. So it's not a loss. It's just a fish that we never even got hooked on the line. I use whatever metaphor you want, but we got to be sensible about this. At some point, you got to have somebody hooked. We had Sabatic on the line. We had Banks on the line. They were hooked. They were playing for our youth teams. Then we lost them.
I think I made this comment in one of Pete's mentions. Like, he's responding, and I responded backing his point in the sense that the guy was like, "Oh, why would he have made this? Why would he have flip-flopped from playing with our youth teams not to being torn?" I'm like, well, the reason he flip-flopped, most likely, I'm just assuming here, the reason he flip-flopped is because the U.S. Men's National Team were the only ladies that were interested.
Yeah, they're only fishermen in town.
So, I mean, he did play for our youth national team, so it does suck to lose somebody who did play part of our youth system. But, I mean, if Germany was expressing as much interest as the U.S. at that point, do we think that he would have actually still played for us?
We had him on the line when he was a minnow. But now that he's a grown fish, there are other people throwing their hooks in the line too now. And he'd rather bite on that bait. And that's what's going on. So Sabatic, whatever you want to call him, same thing. We had him on the hook. He played for their youth teams. He was a minnow then. And then he ended up playing for, another team because he felt disrespected. So he got off the line. So those are players that are on, like Colbreth has never been on any line or any hook. Nathaniel Brown was never on any line we cast out, ever. It's not a loss if you can't even get him on the line. He's not even nibbling, okay? So that's not a loss. It just never happened. And that could be because they were never recruited, because Poch reached out way too late for Nathaniel Brown. But the fact is, if you throw your line in way late and everybody's already cast their line in, and if it's a big hook like Germany, they're probably going to get the person they want first.
Yeah.
All right.
So Albert Kim says, unless you grew up with two cultures, it's hard to understand how intensely personal this decision is. Let the kid make his own choice without crucifying him.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know how incredibly flattering that call from Nagelsmann was to Banks.
Yeah.
for having a coach that's coached at the highest levels tell you, I've seen you play. You're a really great player. You're only 19. Wait 4 years. You'll be 23. More than likely, you'll be playing for the German national team in the next World Cup. So just give it time. You don't need to commit right now. You don't need it. You don't need to do it. Don't do it. Give yourself space and time. That's exactly the advice that Banks has taken. I don't want to commit this early. I want space and time to make that decision, is what he said. I am torn. Well, the problem with that is, of course, is Americans don't like when you're torn. They like you to be all in, and Poch has said it too. You got to be 100% committed to the U.S. men's national team, or I'm not interested in convincing you to come play for us. This is an all-in situation, this World Cup. It's big. It's in this country. I can't afford to have players that are half in. So,
well, I responded by saying, I agree he's under no obligation to represent the U.S. As a dual nat, I'm certain he is torn between two cultures, and it's a difficult decision. And while it's ultimately his decision, we must pay attention to the timeline people are getting upset about. And we've already talked about the timeline. I wrote it all out.
Yeah.
And then I said, you don't have to be angry with the kid to feel disappointed. It's clear that Germany is his first choice, regardless of how connected he feels towards the U.S. men's national team. My 2 cents, I want him to represent the U.S., but not as an afterthought. If he wants to play for Germany, just go get it. It's his decision, but murking up the waters like this doesn't help with fan relations.
I like the way you put, you don't have to be angry, but you can feel disappointed. I think we all have the right to feel disappointed, but don't be angry at Noahkai Banks. That's ridiculous. Yeah, he played for the team he thought that wanted him in his youth. He's too young to make any real big decisions like that. Things have changed. Things have evolved. Don't be angry. You can be disappointed with him. I think that's completely fair. To be angry and spiteful and mean and nasty about it, not useful. Don't waste your emotional energy doing that. Disappointment is as far as you need to take it, period.
Yeah. Like I've said with all doing that, I mean, I think I had this conversation with the prospect, but when he's a still viable option for the U.S. men's national team, I will follow him. I'll root him on. I'll say, hey, really want him there. But once he makes his decision, if he goes with Germany or insert random player chooses Mexico over the U.S., at that point, I'm like, well, best of luck to you. And I stop following his career because why would I bother?
I like Jack. Don't tell me how to feel, Derek. Well, I will just tell you this, Jack. It'll be much better for your overall constitution as a human being on this planet to not get angry about that. And it's like any other player we've lost through injury or superstar that never became a superstar for our team. Like, it's just not worth the emotional energy because it breaks you down. It's not worth it. It's like me being invested in Zalalem. It was a wasted amount of energy on my part. I'm never doing it again for another youth player. Never again. And I just think it's so much wasted energy. It's wasted emotional energy, which drains you from things that are way more important in your life, like your family, your friends, your kids, your girlfriend, your wife. All those things are really important in your life. You cannot invest in this to the point where you are an angry person about something like this. Disappointment is healthy. It's fine. You're not, so emotionally invested that it's going to drain you it's not going to be take an effect on your constitution. So
I think Jonathan's point here, you said this my way, but I think this is pretty on the nose as far as why people are maybe upset with it. But it's like you played for the U.S. during the U17s.
Yeah, I brought this up.
You utilized it as a resource that basically springboarded your career. And now you're deciding to play for Germany when they never gave you the opportunity like we did. So the idea, I guess, is I feel like even though, you have to have some awareness in the sense that we gave you the opportunity.
Okay, bro, but come on. Who really gave him the opportunity to springboard his career? Augsburg. You don't springboard your career unless you're James Rodriguez or a few other guys at a World Cup or playing for an international team. You're only there so many times a season. Yes, you might get some looks because of that, but honestly, it's Augsburg that springboard it's Banks and Augsburg that have made this happen. So
I agree. No, I agree with you on that point. I'm just referring to as far as an international
but
opportunities are concerned.
He's a little kid. He's a 15, 16-year-old playing the U17s. He's an 18-year-old, 17-year-old playing for the U20s. He's too young to be thinking that big. So now we've got to the point where he's 19. Things have changed. He's got a ringy dingy from Nagelsmann. And yeah, the sweet whisperings into his ear changed his mind. And it's time to be disappointed about it, but not angry about it.
Oh, no, I agree with being angry.
This sounds really bitter. Like he's supposed to apologize for all the times he took spots on the youth teams. Yes, those were good things for his career, but in the end, how many fucking youth players make a dent anywhere? I mean, how many of them? It's like 2%, 5%, okay? Amount to hella beans going forward. So it's really Augsburg that gets the credit for making him a better player.
I guess Jonathan's point is that we gave him the opportunity, whereas Germany didn't give a fuck.
No, Germany didn't really give a fuck.
So
they didn't see him. They didn't notice him in their own backyard, and they blew that. But apparently, Banks is not going to hold that against them. So there's
of course not. Why would he?
Yeah,
they eventually came.
Yep.
Or maybe he eventually came. I'm not sure how that works out.
I mean, the way we're talking about that's gross, but
oh, Derek, we had like 30-minute segment there where we couldn't stop laughing about.
I know
some raunchier shit than that. So I don't want to hear that's just gross, Brett.
All this coming all of a sudden. All right, what else?
I don't know if there's anything new to do. Well, just Doug talking about that he's got to follow a one-time switch if he does go to Germany. So
yes, he does.
Yeah.
So we'll lose him.
Right. Mr. Bergotti wants to know if we've seen the new World Cup jerseys.
Yeah, I know that people are jizzing all over on Twitter about that. Listen, I just don't want them to be bad. I like a good jersey like the next guy, but I'm not posting multiple bullshit posts about fucking jerseys up there and kits. They look good. The striped red and white one looks really good from the front. I heard it's blank in the back, which is not good.
That blank in the thing is, we've known about these jerseys for months now. They've been quote unquote leaking. There might be maybe some small changes here and there type of thing, but I think when the players were wearing them, they look a lot better. But the big white box in the back is just
that's just
so
stupid.
dumb.
Just keep the stripes all the way going around the back.
Neither of which are anywhere near my favorite jerseys, and I'm not paying for them. I saw somebody bought one, and the cost was like $215 or something like that.
Yeah, I saw like 124 to 200. Yeah,
I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro.
Not doing it. No, I'm not buying one.
Just getting an American T-shirt with a flag on it or something like that. Wear that to the games.
I just never really, outside of the fact where I'm like, yeah, that looks good. That's about the level of excitement I get for a kid. Yeah, that looks good. That's it. I never get above that.
I would love to get an updated kit. I haven't bought one in nearly 20 years.
Can I ask you, do you ever get above? Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Nothing recently, no.
Oh, so before you jizz in your pants about a kit?
Jizz in my pants about a jersey at all? No. I don't get my kicks off that. Use a sock there. Come on. Don't be.
Brett, that's a metaphor. You didn't literally jizz in your pants. But literally has a kid come out for the U.S. men's national team where you're like, holy shit! Fucking A! Gotta get it right now.
I've never been that excited about a kid now.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. My level of excitement for a kid is, hey man, that looks pretty good. That's about as good as it gets. Because usually my reaction is, that's all right. So if I can get to, that's pretty good. That looks pretty good. That's all I'm looking for. Because I am never going to jizz in my pants about a kid. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to. That's my level of excitement for a kid. Is that looks pretty good. That's as high as I go, Brett. Do you have another level that I should know about?
No, I mean, I only ever really bought the kits to support the team as a whole. I mean, they get my little bit of money.
Do you have a level above that looks pretty good?
I think you missed the part where I said no.
You don't have a level above that?
As far as for jerseys and kits are concerned, no, not really.
But a lot of people do, apparently.
Sure.
Some people are jizzing their drawers over these.
Some people are really happy to drop, $200 plus on a jersey at this point.
You know, I'm more focused on how we play. If we were playing in total dirt crap, fucking horrible jerseys, that would not be cool.
Let's get them some classic 1980s AYSO jerseys.
But if we were and we played well, I could give a crap what we were wearing. But I do think a good kit is important. I think players like to play in a good kit. Nobody wants to go out there and be embarrassed in the kit they're wearing. So I'm glad that my level for the striped red and white one is, yeah, it's pretty good. I wasn't blown away by it. I'm like, yeah, it's all right. It's pretty good. I wouldn't, but the key factor is I wasn't like, that's garbage. Now, the black one with the white stars, I was kind of more like, yeah, it depends how you match it with the bottom.
The one that's the away kit for this World Cup.
Yeah, my point is
navy bluish.
A darker one. It could look good depending on how you match the socks and the shorts, right? Mm-hmm. And I think I can't remember what they were wearing in that, but I know at least with the white ones, white and red ones, they're wearing blue pants, which I think is good. Throw the blue pants on. I think that looks good mixed with the red, white stripes. We don't know the socks yet, or maybe we do. But again, that's like, I'm not a fashion geek. I'm not. That's not where my passion lies. I just want to make sure we're not playing in garbage. And even if we are, as long as we play good, I can live with that. I just wish we weren't playing in garbage. That looks pretty decent if that's the way we're going to go out.
Got the navy shorts.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Look, it looks sharp.
What the hell? We're going to match that.
Back to the white.
It's got to be white short. Do you do
white shorts with that too, huh? Yeah. Oh. Or no, white shorts with just that. Okay.
No, these aren't the shorts by any means, but with that color though, I mean, you can't do the same color, blue than blue or whatever.
You could do white shorts though.
White shorts, yeah.
All right. So anyhow, I'm not going to lose any sleep over that either way. So I don't lose any sleep over any of this, by the way, guys. That's the point. You can't get so emotionally invested in this that you are losing sleep or getting emotionally so pissed off about things that you can't handle it anymore. You can be frustrated and, as Brett said, disappointed, which Brett and I have often been on this show. We are disappointed. We are frustrated. Occasionally, I let a bit of anger out too, but then I'm done, right? I get to vent and I'm finished with it. I don't lose any sleep over any of this shit. Trust me. Don't. It's not going to let it affect me that way. There are too many other important things like family, my kids. That's all more important. Even my fucking job's more important because of my jobs, who I work with, which is high school kids. That to me on a day-to-day basis, and those personal relationships are more important than this national team wearing a bad jersey. Just not going to be that invested in that. Or some kid saying he might not want to play for us. I'm not happy. I'm disappointed, but I'm not going to invest myself emotionally in that. Otherwise, what the fuck? I'm not going to be an emotional wreck. So
here's the best 11 CONCACAF that chose to play for European nations.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Van Dijk could have been played for what is that surname?
This is stupid.
Curacao? No,
Take it off the screen. This is ridiculous.
Those are some pretty good players that could have played in CONCACAF, Derek.
Yeah, if they weren't so good that they qualify to play for the countries of their origin. All right, enough. That's so jocular. That's so overly jocular. All right, queefing is more important since Bandit. I'm not sure I'm a big proponent of queefing. All right, we've got the main topic. Let's just do it.
Oh, damn, I thought we kind of talked about that during the 28-man roster.
Did we? We kind of did. But
we kind of did. I mean, but we kind of talked about this before the show, too, that I think at this stage of the game, players aren't going to play themselves off of Poch's roster.
And exactly. I know Miles had a terrible game this weekend. They got crushed 6-0. Absolutely destroyed, and he looked like a fucking deer in headlights. I don't think that matters to Poch. I don't think one bad game, even though there were coaches there to watch the goalkeepers, I don't think that's going to be a major decision they use to knock Miles out of contention. So,
well, I mean, and we talked about this the other show and stuff, but Miles, the number of matches played at center back for Poch, Ream and Richards have the most, obviously, but Miles is the very next person. So a bad game or a bad series of games leading into the World Cup, I don't think is going to sway Poch one way or another when it comes to his roster at this point.
Aronson had a pretty putrid half for Leeds this weekend. Again, a case of I don't think that plays him out of the national team picture. And finally, Reyna not playing at all for weeks on end here, and then being injured before that. I don't listen. For me, that might be a question that Poch has to ask himself, and he might be like this guy. At least when I called him last time, he was getting minutes. They were small, but he was getting some. Now I'm gonna call him up. He get nothing, 0. Healthy, not playing junk minutes, not getting 10 minutes, not getting 5. Nothing. While Scally plays every game for Mönchengladbach.
And isn't it weird to be in a situation where Gio might get included and Scally might not get included?
Yeah.
I mean, they play different positions, obviously, but
yeah. Hey, Colin, that whole anti-Richards thing, you might fall. Well, I would say this. I would say there are a lot of people that disagree with you on that Richards sucks. So that's going to be one of those things where you're going to carry that banner that Richards sucks, and you're going to have a lot of people saying you're wrong. And I think, Crystal Palace would probably say you're wrong, and the coach would probably say you're wrong too. Else he wouldn't be playing because they got other options. They don't need to be playing Richards. But has he been perfect this season? Of course not. No, he's not been. He's not been like super duper 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 for Crystal Palace this season. He's had bad games. He's had some games where he was okay. He's had a few really good ones. But yeah, I don't know. That's one of those opinions that you hold that are kind of outside like any stream, really. Most people like Richards. They think he has good potential. And right now, certainly the only center back we have playing in the Premier League. So there's that. Anyhow, that's all we got for you tonight. We're getting out of here before the 3-hour mark hits. For the nearly 200 of you who are here tonight, make sure you like, share, and, give your stepsister a kiss on the cheek for us. And hopefully you guys' relationship is going well. Until the next time on this Red Card, good night.
That hurt.
Welcome to the post-match press conference of the match between...
Sometimes people have sex in different ways.
69.
And One way is a type of sex called oral sex.
It's really good. You know,
I don't particularly enjoy it.
set the right tone, set the standards.
No, it's not one of my favorites.
And knowledge and also experience from different people. And
Only if you're doing it right.
I am very good.
Every man thinks he knows which positions women love, but most are completely wrong.